Whoop whoop. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, X has been down, had some stuff going on very late. I so black poppy. Can't do I know black poppy. Have to do I so black poppy. Um yeah, just had to get in here. X is just running so weird right now. Just minutes, just like an hour before I'm supposed to go live, I have all these clips from X, all these little things from X, and all of a sudden X is completely down. Just for me, the mod team, they're like, oh, we're fine, this, that. So it was actually pretty crazy. Seems like it's pretty good now, but not all the functions are back. So let's just get into this whole thing. We got Wolves in Finance really calling out these crazy connections. Turning Point, Fort Huachuca. He's going hard once again. We thought we lost him when he made that video. He made a video that was just like about taxes. Everybody's like, oh, this guy's done. They got to him. He got the call. That's it. Turning Point, whoever turned up and was taking pictures of that former employee's house, we thought they just turned up at his house, scared him half to death because he is within their vicinity. He's actually very close to them. But he actually made another video, and it is incredible. We're going to go through that. We also have Pam Bondi, more embarrassment from Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, and the whole debacle when it comes to the redacted files. Might as well just call them the redacted files. Zero. I won't say zero transparency, but very muddy. You know what I mean? This is muddy transparency. There's transparency, but there's like, somebody took one thing of mud and they're just like, you can't see all this. The rest of it you can see though, So that sucks, but whatever. And then we get into Candace is already back. She's already back. I told you guys that when it comes to the Candace withdrawals that so many of you guys talk about, she gets them too. She's already back. She's already back and being a savage all over X. It's actually wild to see what happened, calling people out left and right, and pretty much gets a Turning Point producer to crash out. This guy just crashed out for Candace. I mean, it was so weird to watch. I mean, this guy went racial. It was Candace, you've pissed somebody off when they're just like, screw it. I'm going straight to race. Hey, I don't blame them. That's, it's like if you want to hit a nerve with somebody, that's usually where you go. Doesn't work with Candace. Doesn't work with Candace at all. So we're going to get into that a little bit. Of course, I have to show you guys this first, just so you know. Clips channel. You join the Clips channel. We are going to have that up and running today. It is going to be daily clips there. They're going to be 15 to 30 minutes. If you don't want to sit through the whole live stream, you'll catch the highlights there. So just hit that subscribe button. It is Coach Colin Clips. There's been about almost 1,000 of you that have joined so far. Let's keep on doing that. It'll keep you in the loop. It'll keep you feeling good. You won't feel left out when you see this 3-hour video and you're just like, what the heck is this? So go over there as soon as you can. Now let's jump into Wolves in Finance. Man, I got to be honest. I was stressed out. X, everything. If you guys don't know, the wife and I had to go to the hospital early. It was terrifying. That's why the videos that you saw during the weekend, they had no thumbnails, because I was just sleep deprived and scared and praying, and it was just one of the hardest times I've ever had during a pregnancy, like it's my pregnancy, my wife's pregnancy. So yeah, we were just going nuts there, but we're pulling ourselves back together. Prayer and healing has taken place. So thank you for all those in the mod team that were able to. Oh, I didn't even let the mod team know. I let my Christian men's group know. They prayed for me, but the mod team would have as well. Baron has some extraordinary people on his side. So yeah, just let's jump into the Wolves in Finance. I love that he has this disclaimer. I love it. Let's read it. Let's read it and hope that it also blankets us during this time. The views and opinions expressed in this video are my own and based on publicly available information Sources cited, all allegations discussed are unproven and presented for informational and commentary purposes only. The content is protected opinion speech and is not intended as statements of fact or assertions of illegal conduct. Viewers are encouraged to conduct their own research. I love it. Let's get into it. Wolves in Finance, back at him again. And when this guy goes, I mean, he goes for the jugular. I mean, this is a wild video that he just put out here. Let's listen. You got to give it a moment of silence.
I have been reporting on Charlie Kirk's death, and something that keeps coming up is a military base in Arizona called Fort Huachuca. I've been taking a closer look and have uncovered what looks like a lot of fraud.
His intro's hilarious. He just like threw that together. That's like from Story Blocks. Let's go.
I don't think anyone has asked yet. How was it paid for? Where did the money come from to pay for the assassination? Now, if you believe the FBI story that it was a lone gunman with a .30-06, that would have required no money. That was just one crazy guy. But no reasonable person believes that Charlie Kirk was killed with a .30-06. That means that Tyler Robinson was working with someone else. And that means that someone was getting paid. Now, anyone who's been looking into the story knows it is more likely that a lot of people were involved. There was a strange plane circling overhead. People reported seeing drones in the air. There was the old man, George Zinn, who falsely confessed to be the shooter as some sort of decoy. It was reported that while he was receiving medical treatment, George Zinn told multiple people that he was expecting to be paid for his actions. Then there was the transgender boyfriend, who has practically disappeared from sight. There was a bunch of people put in charge before the incident, including the FBI Special Agent Robert Bowles. He is the guy who reported on finding the .30-06.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled.
There are indications that this was a full-scale military-style operation. That costs a lot of money. We are talking an enormous amount of money. You have to pay for the people, the equipment, the planning, the training, and not just for the event itself. You have to pay for the cover-up that went on for months. Now,
This is very interesting because he's the money guy, right? And he's going down some roads that we've gone down before, right? Candace, Barron, so many people, and myself, Jesse. He's going down some roads that we've gone down before, but he's making sure to stay true to like what brought him to the dance in the first place, which is the money. He's not just going full tinfoil. He's like, let's actually look at the money of this whole thing. Let's keep going.
I'm aware that after Charlie Kirk's death, Turning Point raised a lot of money. There were several large money transactions sent to Turning Point. But that was after the assassination. Where did the money come from before? We are talking about assassins. I don't know how much you know about accounting for criminal organizations, but assassins do not accept credit. You cannot purchase an assassination on your American Express card. That money had to come from somewhere. I'm going to tell you where I think it came from. But first, I want to start by putting in context why this is so important. This month, the head of the FBI, Kash Patel, said this.
Are you convinced, seeing what you've seen, that this one shooter is the one guy?
Well, I got to be careful on comment on the evidence. As you know, it's a state court proceeding. It's a state murder charge. And as you know, you've covered this longer than everybody else. Those take a long time, if not years, to adjudicate a murder case. And that's what's going on. My job at the FBI is to ensure that they have the evidence that they need from my agents that were on the ground that collected it, and we provided it to them, and we will continue to work with them and take our direction from the state prosecutors. At the end of the day, Charlie was my friend, a dear, dear friend. The worst thing that could happen is we somehow taint the evidence of the jury pool by making a statement or commenting and stylizing the evidence, and that ends up in a mistrial or even an acquittal. So what I'm guarding against is that, and we will continue to provide support.
All right. He says it is a...
Man, that's an amazing way that Kash Patel lies, huh? Because we've seen it now. He's just making things up. It's incredible. It's really, really incredible. I can't believe I was really excited about Kash Patel. I can't believe that I was excited about a bureau director getting appointed. And I was like, oh, he's gonna arrest people. That's what I thought. Did you think that? Did you think Kash Patel was gonna arrest people? The big people, the people who he said, the deep state? Is that what you thought? You know what I mean? It's not a swamp. It's an ocean. It's an ocean. It's not a swamp where it's just like a few alligators and a couple snakes and stuff. It's an entire ocean. There's a coral reef. There's mermaids. There's giant squids. There's krakens in there. Nobody's draining the ocean. It's like if somebody came up to you and said, I'm going to drain the ocean. You'd be like, get out of here. What are you talking about? And you know what's crazy in that analogy? The ocean depends. We depend on the ocean. We can't have the ocean get drained, or else it's bad for us. That's what this is like. Kash Patel, he's just making things up. Isn't that, we just can't go down the road of analyzing any other theories other than this one. We have to stick to this one theory. We don't want an acquittal. I mean, the last thing we want is a patsy walking the earth alive, breathing among us. That is just not something that we do. We didn't do it with JFK, and we're certainly not going to do it during this time. Charlie was a dear, dear friend. We've met each other at least 4 different times. He was a dear, dear friend of mine. He wasn't a dear, dear friend to Charlie. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. It's like a showbiz thing, you know? They weren't dear, dear friends. Like they were just chilling and talking all the time. You know, unless they were. Love to see their text messages. Sir, I know you're the director of the bureau. I think someone's going to kill me. Charlie, I'm really busy right now. I'm covered in honey. I'm listening to my girlfriend's country music. I really just don't have the time. Whoever's going to kill you, just let them kill you, okay? That's the type of friend he was. Anyway, let's go.
State court and the state police are investigating. This is Kash Patel publicly stepping back and saying the FBI is no longer involved. This is a local state matter. I find this statement shocking. A political assassination is absolutely within the FBI's jurisdiction. For him to say this is a state matter and he's going to let them deal with it is absurd. If Charlie Kirk was his personal friend, why doesn't he take personal charge over the investigation and make sure that justice is done? The problem with the state police and the state prosecutors is that they are more susceptible if there is corruption within the state of Utah. Let's imagine that there are a few powerful people in the state of Utah who are somehow involved in Charlie Kirk's murder. Well, if you are a police officer with the Utah State Police and you've worked there for a decade, you are more likely to just go along with what the powerful people want because it is good for your career. Same thing with the state prosecutors. Same thing for the state judge. All of these people are susceptible to pressure to screw up the case. This is why it makes sense to have a federal-level FBI investigation. I believe the reason Kash Patel is stepping away is because the White House wants to distance themselves from the investigation because they can see that it is falling apart, and they want to be able to put the blame on the state prosecutors. And I think that is pretty disgusting. How can Kash Patel sit there and call Charlie Kirk his friend and not try to figure out the truth about how he was murdered? That is why I'm making these videos. It is up to us, the investigators on the internet, to figure out what happened. Because the FBI is telling us that they're not going to do it. They are stepping back. As someone who believes that truth and justice matters, I think we need to figure out what really happened to Charlie Kirk. And that brings me to Fort Huachuca. On December 18th, Candace Owens interviewed Mitch Snow. He is a military veteran who was randomly at Fort Huachuca looking for his old files.
Oh no, it's the military boogeyman. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. There's gonna be so many people upset. The Mitch is on the screen again. I'm so sorry, everybody. Oh, I know he's the worst. Oh no. Oh no, I'm so sorry, guys. It's Mitch again. Oh, I hope a couple guys don't get angry that Mitch is on the screen again. Oh no, it's Mitch. It's Mitch Snow. Hey man. Yeah. The amount of people that got that activated. George Webb's like, Candace is going to get hung on that tree. What? Are you okay, man? Are you guys good? All the money has to go back. I'm giving Candace an ultimatum. What? What are you talking about? Are you nuts? I'm not attacking Candace, but all I'm saying is Mitch Snow. I hope you guys don't bug out because Mitch Snow's on the screen. Anyway, let's keep going. Silly people. Straight up activated when Mitch Snow came into play. That makes me believe Mitch Snow even more. When I see a bunch of people activate out of nowhere, like Smith agents, you know what I mean? They're just a regular guy on the street, and all of a sudden they're like, and they look like Benny Johnson with sunglasses on. Oh, you activated, bro. Anyway, let's go.
He was there the 2 days before Charlie Kirk's murder. On the evening of September 8th, in the lobby of his hotel, the Candlewood Suites at Fort Huachuca, he reports that he saw Erica Kirk. Then the next day, on September 9th, he was at a building on the base and saw a group of high-ranking lieutenant colonels with someone who looked like a congressman. They walked past Mitch Snow as if they were leaving a meeting. Brian Harpole, the head of security for Turning Point, was walking with them. Not only that, there was another man who looked like Cabot Phillips, who Mitch Snow had seen in the hotel lobby with Erica Kirk the day before. If you do not know who Cabot Phillips is, he is a senior editor at the Daily Wire. There are Instagram posts that show that Cabot Phillips was supposedly in a relationship with Erica before she was married to Charlie Kirk. Here's a photo where Cabot Phillips says, "Yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together." Here's another conversation online between Erica Kirk and Cabot Phillips. She says, "Girlfriend does the same and double taps the photo to like it." Cabot Phillips says, "Former roommate sees picture and smiles at phone." This conversation...
Oh, God, I never saw that. That's so cringe. That's so cringe. That is wildly cringe. My gosh. You know, what was that? What is it called? A lavender relationship? Is that what they call it? Or a beard? Erica was his beard? You know, I don't want to call him that directly, but you guys know what I mean when I say she was his beard. You understand what that means? That's what that seems like, just from that back and forth that they have there, you know? I am your girlfriend, yes, and I enjoy females so much, especially you and your form. I love your hair and the smell of it. I also smile when I see that you like picture, you know?
Happened around 10 months before Erica Kirk had her first date with Charlie Kirk. Here's a strange photo of Cabot Phillips with pizza tattooed on the inside of his lip. He must really like pizza. Kent Fransve, Erica's dad, has only 16 friends on Facebook. One of those friends is Cabot Phillips. So Mitch Snow is claiming to have seen Erica Kirk and Cabot Phillips at Fort Huachuca on September 8th in the lobby of the hotel, and then he saw Cabot Phillips and Brian Harpole on September 9th leaving the meeting. And let me just say that all of this is allegedly. Mitch did not know who any of these people were until after the news broke about Charlie Kirk. And then he was watching the news reports and saying, "Wait a second, I saw these people on the 2 days before the murder at Fort Huachuca." Why would Erica Kirk be at Fort Huachuca with her ex-boyfriend 2 days before Charlie Kirk was murdered? And where is the FBI? Leave a comment down below if you think that this is something that Kash Patel should look into. This is further corroborated because while Mitch Snow was at that building on the base where he saw the meeting, the military staff got nervous. They said Mitch wasn't supposed to be there. They called the military police and started interrogating Mitch Snow, and eventually they let him leave. But we have the police report that confirms that Mitch Snow was there right where he says he was. Now I will let you know that I personally called Mitch Snow. He was gracious enough to talk to me on the phone, and I grilled him for an hour on his story. And I can just give you my opinion. After speaking with him, I personally found him to be very credible. What is even more compelling is that more people have reached out to Candace Owens. She has reported that there are now potentially 2 more eyewitnesses that claim to have seen Erica Kirk on Fort Huachuca during that time period.
Wow. Wow. Look at this guy go. Just called Mitch Snow credible. Oh, man. So many people are going to come after him now. What are you talking about? How could you say that? How could you say that? Oh, it's going to be wild. And yeah, Candace has potentially other people. Baron, I have not forgotten, if Baron is watching, or if anyone who knows Baron is watching, he brought up a picture of Erica. And I still wonder, I could just message him. I have his phone number. But I still wonder if there's a picture that is circulating. If there is, and I have not been shown this picture, why haven't I? I will tell everybody, of course. I cannot keep a secret. But still, you tell me, and I'll do it in a funny way when I tell everybody. They won't even know if I'm joking or not. It'll be fine. If there's a picture, let me see. I want to see. I'll tell everybody. I'll tell everybody. I won't wait for Candace to come up with it. I'll tell everybody right away. I'll be like, I saw it. She had a ponytail. Mitch is right. Just show me the picture. Come on. Come on.
Although, we still do not have confirmed statements yet. Investigative reporter George Webb went to the Candlewood Suites where Mitch Snow stayed.
Here at the Candlewood on Fort Huachuca. Don't want to take any pictures of the base, so I'm going to just kind of focus on the Candlewood here. But this is the area walking in, right? This is the turnaround area. I'll go real slow here, but there's the turnaround area. The 111 is just right over there. So, but here's the lobby area. And then they have a little breakfast bar area in here, right? And then a little sitting area. And then here's a nice little kind of breakfast area.
Okay. Do you see how small this hotel is? This is a pretty small lobby. This is not a case where Mitch Snow was seeing someone across a parking lot. Erica Kirk and Cabot Phillips would have been right there on the other side of the lobby. It is very reasonable that he got a good look at their face. George Webb then created a dance move called Doing the Wooka at Fort Huachuca.
They're doing the wooka. It's a sleight of hand, moving all the money through a shifting sand. From the Candlewood Suites to the hill above, it's a fist of iron in a velvet glove. Yeah, they're doing the wooka, keeping secrets tight while the drones are screaming in the middle of the night.
I never thought I would be saying this.
What? What was that? What was that? I'm sorry. I had not been privy to this. I've never seen that before. And he's saying George made that? George, the same guy who told Candace she must disavow Mitch and forget about everything about Fort Huachuca. That George Webb? Really? Wow, the George Webb that runs 2 accounts and acts like he's only running 1. That George Webb that blocked me on both accounts at the same time? That George Webb said Candace is gonna get, and pointed at a tree, and he said she's gonna get strung up on that tree? That George Webb? He made that? That's interesting. That's just interesting, that's all.
But I am jealous of George Webb's dance moves. For the record, I have to say that Erica Kirk, Brian Harpole, and Cabot Phillips have all denied being at Fort Huachuca. However, they have all been unable to provide convincing evidence to support their alibis. Erica Kirk claims she was home cooking dinner. She cannot provide any information from her cell phone to back this up. Brian Harpole claims he was on a plane flight, but the flight information he has provided is for a flight that was booked, not a boarding pass, and it is for a flight that was 6 hours after the meeting took place. Cabot Phillips provided a photo of himself shopping at a grocery store for his alibi to show he was in Nashville. YouTuber Baron Coleman investigated the photo on his live stream with some concerns.
Now, admittedly, this is a weird photograph. A photograph like this lends itself to questions about whether it's legitimate. Here's why I say that. Have you ever met a grown man, testosterone coursing through his bones and body, who took a picture holding 4 balloons with his hand, I don't know if his pocket pull, I don't know what's going on here, but his hand in his pocket with this smile, this smug kind of smile? No grown man takes this photo. Nobody. I can't even think of a reason you would take this photo. I can't even think of a reason you would pause and pose for this photo. You're in there and you're picking up balloons for a gender reveal for your kid, and you say, "Hold on. Will you please check this out? Grab my phone and take a picture of me real quickly. I want to memorialize buying balloons at the local Publix. But even if it's his girlfriend or his wife, or I think he's married, even if it's, obviously he's married, even if it's his wife, I've been married for 25 years. I've never had my wife take a photo of me checking out of a grocery store, much less with that look on my face. I mean, period, end of story.
It does.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh, Baron. That is so true. That is 100% true, because Cabot ended up producing the metadata. I believe he did the metadata and a purchase receipt, online receipt. And why would he hand his phone off to take that picture? I could see your lady just being like, take the picture. I want to take this picture just for my mom, because I want her to see that we got the balloons. You know, I could see that. But you saying, hey, take a photo of me holding these balloons. Why? And here's the other thing. If you did take that picture, the way that things work nowadays, that picture would have been on Instagram. It just would have, you know? Especially a picture like that. It's not like you're showing a kid's face or anything like that. If it's just about the gender reveal, you would show that picture to people online. If your wife took it herself, she would for sure post it. If you asked for it to be taken, why would you ask for it to be taken? You would probably post it, more than likely. Testosterone running through your veins. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I never asked my wife to take pictures of me. No, not at all. That is a very odd thing. Gee, look how pissed Zach is. You know, this is how it is. This is like when you find out what was going on in the files and you realize that they're all just worshiping Baal. You know, back in the day, you were like, oh, it's Moloch, it's an owl. And they're like, whatever, you can think what you want. And it's really Baal that they're worshiping this whole time. And it's all of them together. Every time they say God, they're talking about Baal. That's why they don't say Jesus, because they would burst into flames. It's real. This is how pissed off you look when you realize it's really Baal. And all the movies that you like and all the songs that you love, when they're talking about God on stage, when they're accepting their awards, which is just a ritual in and of itself, they're talking to Baal. Isn't that fun? It's just Baal and Baphomet, huh, guys? Nobody's worshiping Jesus in Hollywood. Oh my gosh.
Does seem kind of strange. Then people pointed out that the magazine covers in the photo were for the wrong time period. Why does Cabot Phillips have behind him the wrong magazine in his alibi photo? Why can nobody corroborate their alibis? The identity of the congressperson remains unconfirmed, but it matches the flight data of a flight carrying a VIP passenger that left Fort Huachuca.
This is your big meeting right here. This is your big meeting at Fort Huachuca. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So this series of flights starts on September 7th, 3 days before the Charlie Kirk assassination, 2 days before the meeting in Fort Huachuca. It flies from Joint Base Andrews to Colorado Springs. It flies from Colorado Springs to Tucson. Again, this is close to Fort Huachuca. It flies from Tucson into presumably Fort Huachuca because it kills the transponder, but then the next day it's leaving Fort Huachuca. So whoever came in on this flight arrived probably, since Tucson's just a few minutes away, around 4:30 or 5 o'clock the day before the big meeting.
The flight call sign changes to Sam when there is a high-ranking government official on board. As soon as Candace Owens did the interview with Mitch Snow, people started losing their minds. This is how Alex Jones responded.
Oh, Balix. We don't play Balix on this channel. Oh, Gary's in this video? Wow, this guy went through everything. Basically, Balix just says, hey, what we got going on here? I was the one that discovered the black helicopters, and when the black helicopters came, nobody believed me, okay? And now I'm telling you guys that Candace Owens is demonic. She's demonic and evil, and you guys got to understand, Mitch Snow is not a real person, you understand? He's with MI6. He's against MAGA, communist, Marxist, you understand? What other words can I pile on here? He's poo-poo, he's doo-doo, okay? He's just all the things that are bad in the world. You have to understand when I tell you this, okay? I'm always right and I'm never wrong, okay? I have no affiliation with the feds, although all the information that I get has to be from the feds when I predict things, and I'm just part of predictive programming. That's basically what he was saying. I'm paraphrasing, but it's pretty much on point. Anyway, let's keep going with Gary.
He was there. I'm going to bring Lene on here. So, Lene, first of all, welcome to the show. I'm sorry that you have to relive some of these things. Man, it makes me mad.
I woke up the next morning and he started screaming at me all over again. Threw me down on the couch at one point and was like just grabbing handfuls of my hair and using it to shake my head back and forth, and again going off on how he was going to bury me alive in the desert. And that time he also added he was going to kick me into the river and see if he could swim. Those were his words. And at the time we lived literally right across the street from the river.
Now, I've never been married, so I don't know what it's like to have a bitter ex-wife. But if you have experience dealing with a bitter ex-wife, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm curious. Can we trust the word of a bitter ex-wife?
We don't need to debunk his testimony.
Wow. Zach is ruthless. Ruthless. He heard that and said, I don't know what it's like when you have a bitter ex-wife who's just willing to say whatever about you. Let me know in the comments. Wow. That's crazy. You know who actually knows about having a bitter ex-wife, which is really interesting? Gary. Gary knows about having a bitter ex-wife. Isn't that odd? He told Mitch about this, unless he was lying, which is possible because he's a liar. But he did say that he had that exact same type of situation where his wife was hiding the kids, moving them around. So when he was on leave, when he could be away from being in combat and, thank you for your service and everything, when he would come back, she would have them away from him. You would think a guy like this would understand that possibly someone could be lying, unless there was some kind of incentive. Like you wanted to be on stage at AmFest next year with pyrotechnics blaring out of your backside. You wanted to be on stage with Erica Kirk and Ben Shapiro, because it would help your business tremendously. Maybe then you would just forego all the experiences you've had that are similar to Mitch's, act like you've never had those experiences. Maybe, I don't know. He seems like a great guy. It's Gary. He's the unofficial, he is not even unofficial. He is the official curly of Turning Point. He is there right now, just curling it up.
What I will say is that his entire testimony rides on his credibility, and that's really important. With that being said, what really should be taking place is that we should be provided proof that any of these things actually happened. If you want to say that Brian Harpole was there, then give us some proof that Brian Harpole was there. If you want to say that Erica Kirk was there, give us some proof that Erica Kirk was here. It is not on the people that are being accused to provide proof of their innocence. That's not how this works. That's not how it's supposed to work, and it's ridiculous on its face. But with that being said, Candace decided to bring this person on who is a serial woman abuser, who is a serial manipulator, who has victimized children, has victimized people time and time and time.
I'm not laughing about what Gary said. I saw someone in the chat say I might be a bitter ex-wife, and that just kind of sent me. I like the honesty out there. Someone's like, I might be that bitter ex-wife. From the descriptions that I'm hearing, I could be that bitter ex-wife. I just might be. Just letting everybody know in the chat. This is amazing.
Again, and the pattern is clear, and there's court records that document all this stuff. And, it's just unbelievable that she didn't do a better job vetting this person. We shouldn't even be here to begin with, because that's what should have been done. It was on her to vet this person. We shouldn't have to be here debunking his story or challenging his credibility. But I think since we are here, this is the situation that we've been given. That's what we have to do. And I think it's really important for all the people out there defending him that you hear directly from his victims. And that's what we're going to do today. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and welcome Candace Graychick and Aaron Massey. So ladies, thank you for having the courage to come on. Thank you for sharing your story with us, and welcome to the show.
He's full of crap. He's a manipulative, coercive liar. He's been abusing women for a long time. But for me specifically, he gave me a TBI. You know, I have in text messages, him admitting to punching me in the face.
This is nuts that they went to this extent. Multiple people, and we all know who they were. Everybody, these people were going through all of this stuff. None of them were suggesting anything about Fort Huachuca. They just said he's a really bad guy. Here's all the bad things. There's no way he was at Fort Huachuca. Meanwhile, Gary, in all his investigative excellence, actually verifies through Mitch's son that he was at Fort Huachuca because they contacted him from Fort Huachuca because his son was the emergency contact. I mean, it just didn't make any, or he was like next in line for who they could get in touch with because he was actually, you know, he's a serviceman as well. So I guess maybe he had one contact that they couldn't actually find. And then they contacted him because they're like, this is this guy's dad. Like, he, you know, we have his number. We have all his information because he has served as well. I mean, just ridiculous. Let's get back to Zach, though.
Does have baby mama drama, what does that have to do with whether he saw Erica Kirk at Fort Huachuca? Do you know who else has baby mama drama? Elon Musk. Elon Musk has a lot of baby mama drama. Did that stop anyone from letting him be the head of Doge? No. No one had a problem with Elon Musk running Doge because of his baby mama drama. I do not understand why people will not listen to Mitch Snow. Then people started noticing a lot of other connections between the people at Turning Point and Fort Huachuca.
I mean, this guy just ruthless. Just called it baby mama drama. You know who else has a lot of baby mama drama? Elon Musk. Wow. Elon caught a stray for no reason. Elon's just at home hoping that people don't keep on reading off his talking back and forth with redacted Jeff. They want to make, he's just hoping people don't look into him more so. Him trying to go to these wildest parties Jeff could possibly have. And then all of a sudden he just catches a stray from Wolves in Finance. I mean, wow. And he's right. And he's 100% right. I never even thought of that. Nobody cared. Elon Musk, right before he started running Doge, he literally had a kid with this girl, Ashley St. Clair. Completely just wrote her off. Was like, nah, leave me alone. How about that? Yeah, I'm a billionaire. Leave me alone. Bye. Or give me my kid. Give it to me. I'll train the kid in Tesla. Just give me the kid. And that was it. And she's like, I haven't received anything. I don't know what to do. Everybody was like, we don't care. We don't care. That's it. That's how it went. I mean, I'm just saying the facts. That's exactly how it went. That just happened. That's like his 19th kid or something like that. It's crazy.
An account on X.com named Project Constitution has done a great job of investigating this information. For instance, the person who interrogated Mitch Snow was Captain Adam Neff. This is the cousin of Blake Neff at Turning Point. Turning Point's head of PR, Andrew Colvett, has a brother in the military named Robert Colvett. He is the business manager for U.S. Army NETCOM, headquartered at Fort Huachuca. Andrew Colvett has another brother in the military named Lieutenant Colonel Kurt Colvett, who does annual training at Fort Huachuca. This is so outrageous because in the text message that was leaked from Andrew Colvett, he tries to give Erica an alibi by saying, LOL, Erica wasn't in some fort in Tucson. If Andrew Colvett has two brothers who are regularly at Fort Huachuca, he knows exactly what it is. It's not some fort in Tucson. Why is he pretending like he does not know what Fort Huachuca is? That is a lie. And we've been catching these people at Turning Point in a lot of lies. This is supposed to be an organization with Christian values. Why do they lie all the time?
Zach is really funny. Why do they lie all the time? Absolutely. I mean, I didn't know Andrew had two brothers that both had experiences at Fort Huachuca. I had no idea that that was the case. I knew that he had one, and I knew that Jack Posopic, who he works with and has known for years, has also done training at Fort Huachuca. Yeah, I figured that was a big enough connection. I knew he had one brother, but to have two, that means he fully understands what Fort Huachuca is. And here's the thing. Here's the beautiful thing about this. The reason he said that, some fort in Tucson, he said that to Gary, and he thinks Gary is dumb enough. Yeah, I'm saying it. He thinks Gary's dumb enough, and he was, to just believe him. He knew Gary wouldn't question it. Now, why wouldn't Gary question it? Now, you could just say it's because he's dumb. You could say that if you want. But as much service as he's done, he has to have some kind of intelligence. You know what I mean? You know, I must have something, right? At least 80 IQ, something like that. Maybe 70 IQ. I don't know. But for the fact that he said that to Gary proves that there is some kind of, in my mind, some kind of incentive. I don't know what the incentive is. I have no idea. Again, it could just be truth and justice. Could be for the love of the game. I mean, he is Curly, and Curly always listens to what Mo has to say. That's just the way it works when it comes to the Three Stooges, right? So it could just be that. But the fact that he knew he could just say that, and Gary would have the knowledge. Gary knows about Fort Huachuca. I mean, he just does. Right? All these guys, all these military guys that activated, they all know about Fort Huachuca. They know what it is. They know what goes on there. They know how big it is. They understand Fort Huachuca and what it's all about completely. Deeper than we do. Way deeper than we do. So for him to say that, and probably also knows that he has brothers who have served. I mean, if Gary wants to look into it, he can look into a bunch of stuff. I don't know. To me, it just shows that there's some kind of incentive there. Again, I don't know what it is. Again, maybe it is just the pyrotechnics out the backside. You know, that is tantalizing to some people. To be at AmFest and to have the pyrotechnics coming out of the backside while Erica Kirk looks on from the side with nothing but approval. Mikey McCoy, the majestic and supreme, looking down upon you with his wonderful gaze. All of that can feel so good. And then Ben Shapiro rolls up on that little horse that he has. Ben Shapiro, 2 foot tall, 2.5 feet on a good day, rolls up and says, "Good job, Gary." That could be enough incentive. Okay? I'm just saying. It doesn't always have to be $7,000, right?
It doesn't seem very Christian-like to me, but it gets worse. Because Brian Harpole has offices for his security company right outside the front gate for Fort Huachuca. Here's an explanation from George Webb, who actually went down there to check it out.
Hey, George Webb right here, and this is where Brian Harpole's security company is, ISS, Integrated Security. This is the one that was following Charlie all those times and so forth, because they're learning how to do all that stuff right here at this gate at Fort Huachuca, right here. Here's the health club that supposedly went out of business and then was a banquet room, and now it's a health club again. Excuse me, it's right there. So you could recruit here at the health club. Also right there is the Calvary Church. So you could recruit at church or at Takimaki. These are 3. Harpole's security is right in the middle of all of it. And
it is literally right in front of the gate to Fort Huachuca.
It's very interesting that George Webb did all that. And he's also, again, not to harp on it, but he's the guy who's like, you have to disavow Mitch. You have to leave Fort Huachuca alone. He's saying this to Candace. He's like giving her an ultimatum. He's like, or you're going to end up. And he's pointing at a tree. He's like, they're going to take you out of this jailhouse and they're going to put you up on this tree. He actually said that. He goes, you have to admit that you were fooled. You have to admit that Mitch Snow is just a Fed. You have to admit that this whole Fort Huachuca thing is not real. And he said we have to go back to Pierre and I think he was saying something about France or no, the DuPonts. He was like, we have to go back to the DuPonts. That's what we have to focus on. And he was trying to give her an ultimatum of, you have to do what I'm saying right now, or it's going to end badly for you tonight. Nothing happened to her. But the fact that he knew all that was just shown, and he still was saying that to Candace, very, very weird. Very, very, very weird. I hope my researcher, my right-hand guy, Lance, I hope he ends up coming out with the information he has about Webb, because it's very, very weird and dark.
Then it turns out that Erica Kirk starred in a movie that was never released that was filmed at Fort Huachuca. Erica's mother, Lori Franzfey, runs multiple companies involved in Department of Defense work, specifically with technology with ties to Fort Huachuca. So let's go through all of this. Blake Neff, Andrew Colvette, Brian Harpole, Erica Kirk, and Lori Franzfey all have ties to Fort Huachuca. Can we just stop here for a moment? Can we all stop pretending that this is normal? There is nothing normal about this. You are telling me that this nonprofit organization has all these people in leadership with relationships with the military. But not just the military in general, this one specific fort in Arizona. Fort Huachuca is special because it is the location the Army trains people in intelligence work. They train people to work undercover. So why do all these people at Turning Point have ties to Fort Huachuca? And why were several of them seen there in the 2 days leading up to Charlie Kirk's assassination? This is not normal for a nonprofit organization. Let me explain how the military is structured, because it is helpful to understand what is going on. In the intelligence community, you have the national agencies like the CIA, but each branch of the military also has their own intelligence people. In the Army, there was the 110th Military Intelligence Brigade and the 111th Military Intelligence Brigade. Military intelligence includes espionage or being a spy. The 111th is headquartered at Fort Huachuca in Arizona. They are a training-focused brigade. They operate what they call the U.S. Army Intelligence Center of Excellence. This is where the subject matter experts work, and people go there to learn how to be a spy. The 110th Military Intelligence Brigade was formerly headquartered at Fort Drum in New York.
Hold on. Let's hold that thought for a second. So maybe it's just that simple, right? Maybe it's just that simple that the reason that they saw Cabot, and again, I'm not putting this out there, but I'm just like, just a thought process, just a thought exercise of sorts, some thought crunches, some thought bicep curls. That's all. Maybe it's just that simple. Maybe they were all together going to this place because they are being trained or have been in being undercover. Maybe anybody that's going there that looks like a faith organization leader or a political type of leader or working in a media company, maybe that's just where they go. Jack Posobiec did training there. He never specified what it was, but he's in media. Right? He was very open about, going there for training. Maybe it's just that simple, that's what was going on. And that's why she was there. And maybe it was so close to Charlie passing because there was an issue. Maybe there was an issue. And they were like, hey, listen, you were supposed to keep this guy under control. What happened with you? And she's like, I don't know. I mean, it's boring being evangelical. It's so boring. No, guys, it is. Come on. This is getting boring. And they're like, it doesn't matter. You're just supposed to keep them on track. Philadelphia, all the way, all the time. I know, but it's like, I don't know. I don't like talking to him anymore. It's like a real marriage. I just don't like it. I don't know. You're supposed to keep him under control. You know what we have to do now, right? Okay, I'll do it. No, we don't need you to do it. What the? No, are you crazy? And put those sparkles down. She's just like, I'm just getting ready. You said we're about to do it, right? I get to take over? Always the sparkles. And then they're just like, we have to do this now because of what you've done. So we're going to talk to Brian. We've talked to you. Be prepared for it. Cabot, you're on standby. Right? Maybe it's just that simple. That's why they were there. Just taking orders. And maybe it had nothing to do with Charlie. Maybe it was just orders in general. Like maybe there is some weird stuff going on in regards to espionage or spy or whatever. Yeah, because the reason that this just triggered in my head is because I don't know if you guys know this guy. I don't know who he is. Okay, he's a black dude and he has blonde hair. Okay, and he's like super conservative. And he'll be like, I don't have like a drink, but he'll be like drinking a drink. He'll be like, let me tell you something about ICE and why they're so great. Like he's just like one of those guys, you know? He's just like really, really conservative. And he's like a TikToker and he's young. And he's even going to be on a reality show with a bunch of conservative political commentary people. And I noticed that they all go together places. They go together to the White House and, you know, they meet with the administration and they talk things over. And it's like, if those conservative talking heads, young talking heads do that type of thing and go to the White House and talk about what their next moves are or kind of get a feel of what the administration wants people to be talking about from now on. You know, like those same people who got the files and it's like, this is phase one. Hey, everybody. It's like, why wouldn't they do that with other people too? It's like, it's not just media people who are in front of the camera that they do this with. It's people behind the camera, people adjacent to certain people. So why wouldn't it be Cabot and her and Harpole? Like, why wouldn't it? I don't know. Makes sense to me. It's been, yeah, Zach is opening minds right now. Opening minds and calling what Mitch Snow was going through baby mama drama. I mean, wow.
The 110th Military Intelligence was focused on operations and deployments. So people in the Army would get trained by the 111th and then do operations as part of the 110th. Mitch Snow used to be part of the 110th. Many years ago, he was stationed at Fort Huachuca as part of a joint task force to help secure the border. He was the person who found underground tunnels that cartels were using to smuggle drugs into the country. The 110th was inactivated in 2004. The staff was absorbed into the 10th Mountain Division, which remains headquartered at Fort Drum. Then in March 2025, 500 soldiers from the 10th Mountain Division were sent to Fort Huachuca to participate in the newly formed Joint Task Force Southern Border. This is the same thing that happened with Mitch Snow all those years ago. History is repeating itself. When Donald Trump won the election in 2024, he promised to secure the border. The military has been helping in this effort. The headquarters for the Joint Task Force Southern Border was Fort Huachuca, Arizona. There was a major money aspect to all of this. Congress sets the budget for the Department of Defense overall, but within that budget, the military can move money between departments to respond to the priorities of the president. We saw this happen after Donald Trump took office. Here is one example from May 2025. This is called a reprogramming action. They are reprogramming money from one department to another. Here we see $447 million transferred because DHS is requesting Department of Defense support for detention operations for illegal alien removal. This money was taken from the Navy's Capital Fund.
He said million. Maybe he meant thousand. I mean, it's very possible. You're talking about like DHS. It could be million, but I think that's thousand. I don't know. Did anybody else hear that? He said million. Like he said $447 million. But I mean, I guess it could be. Anyway, he might have made a mistake there and meant thousand. But anyway.
And there are more orders like this. Here's another example.
Facilities sustainment, restoration, and modernization. That's the fund where money for barracks maintenance and upgrades come from. Upgrades that the government identified as crucial back in 2023 after a scathing report identified unsafe and unsanitary conditions in barracks around the country. WSAV reported exclusively on some of the poor conditions in the barracks at our own Fort Stewart.
The desperation and the depression that's caused by the barracks and the housing.
Now the Pentagon is taking $1 billion of that money away to fund sending more troops to the southern border.
Issues with like washing machines not working, mold, stuff like that. ACs going out, and it's Fort Stewart, so that happening in the middle of the summer is brutal, especially when you've been outside all day in the heat working. Like kind of go back to this old mantra of the military of like oh, we just have to suffer the whole time is just kind of it's disappointing and disheartening, especially when we kind of saw some progress moving forward to go away from that. It doesn't matter whether it comes back or not, they're still going to be backlogged and there's still going to be expenses that pile up. So at the end of the day, you're just kind of digging a deeper hole. It's a complicated situation, but the answer is not taking such a large amount of funding away from bettering the lives of our service members to push it toward this other issue.
Just look at this photo here. This is black mold in the walls of the barracks that our military is living in. This is disgusting. But the military has priorities, and right now, the border is the priority. So far, between $1 to $2 billion has been reprogrammed to support efforts at the border. A large portion of this money is flowing into the Joint Task Force Southern Border headquartered at Fort Huachuca. Who better to explain what a Joint Task Force is than Andrew Colvette's brother, Robert Colvette?
So as far as the joint exercise goes, let's face it, the future of the military is going to be joint. If we want to succeed against our near peer enemies, then joint is going to be a requirement so that all the assets we have and the capabilities across the services and using them together in an exercise is better than the first time we do it in country.
You have all these different elements from across the military coming together to work on a unified mission. In this case, the southern border. So Fort Huachuca is suddenly flush with money. They have all these new soldiers that are going to be stationed there. So they've been taking all these old buildings and they are repurposing them for expanded operations. This is exactly what Mitch Snow described. The morning of September 9th, the day before Charlie Kirk was murdered, Mitch was looking for where he could get his old paperwork. He was getting coffee and he ran into soldiers he recognized as being from his old unit, the 10th Mountain Division. They talked. He bought them coffee, and they explained to Mitch that he should go to the temporary headquarters for the Joint Task Force Southern Border. They gave him directions. Then Mitch Snow went to the guard gate at Fort Huachuca, and as they were checking his ID, he asked them directions on how to get to the temporary headquarters for the Joint Task Force Southern Border. I'm emphasizing this because the building that the meeting took place in with Brian Harpole, Cabot Phillips, and the congressman and all those lieutenant colonels was the temporary headquarters for the Joint Task Force Southern Border. Captain Neff, who's the cousin of Blake Neff, is the Force Protection Commander, which is a subunit assigned to the Joint Task Force Southern Border. Here is what I believe is happening, allegedly. It looks to me like someone in the military diverted funds meant for the southern border and used that money to assassinate Charlie Kirk. But even if we assume that the military was not involved in the murder, it seems like they were doing something with Turning Point. Allegedly, they're having this meeting with all these people from Turning Point. But the problem is that all these military people are under orders to use their resources for the southern border. Why are they spending resources on Turning Point? And remember, this was money that was taken from soldiers who are living in barracks filled with black mold. They are living in filth so that the money could go to the southern border, and now we are learning that may not be the case. This would be misappropriation of funds, and from the scale of the operation, it looks like a lot of money. Not only would it be misappropriation, they would be using the money to influence U.S. elections through Turning Point. This is taxpayer dollars. When you get taxes taken out of your paycheck.
When Zach decides to make some alleged statements, I mean, he really makes them. Wow. Jeez. I mean, this guy is just, everybody else has been just like Erica and Harpole and he's just like, let's just go to the top, guys. Forget all this. Let's go to the top. The money's always at the top. It trickles down. Come on, guys. Wow. It's connecting Colvette's brother, Blake Neff's cousin, and then the trickle down in regards to like positions. Like both their brothers are in Turning Point. I mean, it just becomes so undeniable. Then Rob McCoy, his father, specializing in psychological operations. Rob McCoy also working in that field. Mikey McCoy being his son, being the chief of staff, hiring everybody. Tyler Boyer was the first, pretty much the first Mikey McCoy, surrounding Charlie with all these people. And then you have the deep state figure that is Stacy Sheridan, and she's just there. It's like Erica is like junior handler and Stacy's like senior handler, you know? She's like giving Erica tips on how to handle, you know? Well, I mean, you're his wife, so you do the wife things and, you know, you keep him on track. And the main point we have to get to is the pillow talk. When you do pillow talk, this is where you manipulate his mind. After you do the things you're supposed to do. Giving her points, she's like, okay. And I gotta do it twice. Okay, I gotta do it twice, and then again, and then pillows. And then we talk on the pillows. And then from there, you didn't put anything about glitter or anything. Okay, no glitter. Okay, that's weird. No glitter, even in bed. Okay, I don't know. That's not real, by the way. I mean, that's me being silly. That's me being silly. She's an upstanding person. Stacy's probably a joy to be around. She's probably a joy to be around. Anybody that can control your mind at the press of a button is an absolute joy to be around. I mean, they can take away pain and all sorts of things, right? Anyway, let's get back to Zach here, because there's one point that I think he hasn't made yet that I really want to hear you guys. I really want you guys to hear. Just really quick, there's 8,600 people in the chat. I know Black Poppy. I. Yay! Nunca. I got some I know Black Poppy memes and videos to show you guys. Please stay tuned for that. I will show you that after we're done here. Anyway, let's keep going.
Do you think it is fair if the government uses your money to assassinate American citizens? Especially if they told you that they were going to use the money for the southern border. If anyone in the military is involved in this, it could result in dishonorable discharge, they would have to pay back all the money, and spend 10 years in prison. If they were also involved in murder, the sentence would be even longer. One of the reasons why Mitch Snow's story is so compelling is the way that he describes Erica Kirk.
The one thing I noticed about the woman that really stuck out to me was her eyes. And I have an ex that has caused me a lot of problems. So when I see someone with striking blue eyes like that, they stick out. And I was on the phone with my wife here, and I even told her about it. I said, "Oh, geez, somebody has those kind of eyes." It creeped me out a little bit, you know, and it had nothing to do with that person. Just, you know, life is what it is.
He says that Erica Kirk has unique eyes. There's something strange about her eyes. In fact, he describes it as, "It creeped me out." Mitch is not the only person who has noticed this. People have started making memes about Erica Kirk's eyes.
We did what we usually did before tours. We said a prayer, and we asked the Lord to protect us, and we asked the Lord that His will be done. That's what we did.
At one time, an employee of Turning Point, she has been one of the main peddlers of these conspiracies, and she is making a huge amount of money on it. She is building her business. What do you want to say to her and the other people that are putting these lies out into the world right now?
Stop. What I am doing is releasing myself from the enemy's hands, where he could have a foothold in me.
But also wanting justice for them here on earth?
No, of course. But we serve a just God. And I rest easy in knowing that. He's sovereign, but He's just. And so let the Lord handle that.
Good gosh. I mean, weirdest thing a person's ever said. Zach, come on, Zach. You can't do this. You got to keep it to the money, man. Zach showing the eye memes. That means Zach's pissed. He's pissed. He's pissed that he got that letter. He's pissed that he had to be scared for a little while. He had to start a membership thing. He had to prepare for a pending lawsuit that he thought was coming. He's mad that they put him through those emotions. He's showing the eye memes. He's the money guy showing the eye memes. I mean, completely justified. She must have gotten so much trouble when she showed this to Stacey Sheridan. When Stacey Sheridan saw this, she was probably like, I told you to be a person. I said to you to be a person. What were you doing? And she's like, I figured I would just play it up, you know? Like really, like I'm the fierce CEO. I told you to drop that theater kid BS, okay? Be a regular person from now on. Bring your eyes down to a 4. You have them at a 12 right now. Bring them down to a 4. Okay, this is getting ridiculous now. Probably so mad. So mad. Can you imagine? You're like, listen, just be cool, be normal, okay? And then you're watching the interview and bang. Bang. And you're just like, God, man, come on. She did it again. Guys, this is ridiculous. We need somebody new. Who else can be? Andrew, can you please be the CEO? Andrew's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I refuse. I will not do that. I will not do that. No. I will call my brother. I'll go to Fort Huachuca right now. Okay? Don't make me get Mr. Huachuca on the phone. Anyways, guys, the last thing that Zach brings up is the fact that there is this company called 110 LLC. This is where he actually went to the strip mall and he couldn't find the actual office and it didn't make sense to him at all. And it was running through like a PO box of sorts. And he was pointing out the fact that it's ran by this, I believe it's Jake Hoffman, who's also a politician in Arizona, but also is doing like this marketing thing for Turning Point. So millions of dollars have been sent to him. It's called 110 LLC. And he makes the connection that Fort Huachuca, I forget what it's called, but the brigade is called the 110 Brigade. And he was making a connection. He's like, why is this thing called the 110 LLC? And this thing at Fort Huachuca is also called 110. And I was like, oh, Zach nailed it. Good job, Zach. I mean, just an incredible video, guys. I mean, he did his thing. I was very happy about that video. I'm glad to see that he's back. I'm glad to see that he's back and that he is continuing to crusade against Turning Point in the way that he has, because his videos are stupendous when it comes to that kind of thing. I mean, just following the money the way that he has, everything he said made sense, and he just adds that extra layer. Again, a lot of this stuff is stuff that you've heard, but the way that he presents it and connects it to the money and makes these like really good observations, just like pulling it all together. I mean, he's very vital in this whole thing. So I just wish he would make more videos. I wish he would just produce more, because I feel like there's so much more he has to talk about, but he works on his own time frame. He is an actual accountant, right? So he does have a job to do. He has not stepped over to this whole thing full time. I just wanted to show this. I was really happy. I was really happy that Tim Dillon did this. I was really happy. More people are going to start doing this from now on. Now, of course, Tim Dillon is talking about Russia. There's nobody else he could be talking about other than Russia, okay?
National security issues, meaning that Jeffrey Epstein, who was not running a trafficking ring, of course, that was told to us, but yet is somehow mixed up in national security to the extent that these unredacted files would cause like a tidal wave of problems for intelligence agencies and governments. But again, the guy that like wasn't doing anything somehow was doing something. So a lot of people are basically saying that we don't want any of this to come out because it could be damaging to maybe existing relationships that the United States of America has. I don't know. Particularly with Russia, which is our greatest ally and has been for a very long time. Russia is very close with the United States of America. Most of our congressmen go on trips to Russia. Russia's RAPAC is massively influential in American politics. RAPAC, the Russian-American funding, RAPAC. We're all criticizing RAPAC all the time. And, Putin's been here 7 times, visited the Oval Office since Trump was elected. We have tons of laws in America right now being proposed to limit anti-Russian speech. So I get it. The mayor of Miami's a Russian and, had the police show up at a woman's house who said something about Russia. It's weird. We have a weird relationship with Russia. Russia spends a lot of money. Olga Ivanova, who's who owns the Dallas Mavericks, very powerful, lives in Russia part-time and America part-time. Trump actually joked she might like Russia better than America. It was a bet. She is actually spending tons and tons of money in a Kentucky House race so that Thomas Massie can't get elected. And what is Thomas Massie doing that's so disturbing to Olga, the Russian oligarch? It's that he wants the Epstein files. So you have to imagine it's damaging to Russia because a Russian oligarch is dumping tons of money into a Kentucky Senate race so that Thomas Massie can't win because he's running partially on the platform of transparent Epstein victims and consequences for the perpetrators of these horrible crimes. So I think that is obvious to most people.
I mean, just incredible. I love it. If you can't tell, he was talking about Philadelphia and he was using Russia. It's really funny. They always talked about the now Prez being a Russian puppet, and if what Tim was saying was true, then we would all be like, he is for sure a Russian puppet. But he was talking about Philadelphia, Isn't that interesting? But nobody ever accuses him of being a Philadelphia puppet. Nobody does that. I mean, literally in the media, in the mainstream media, in the Senate, in the Congress, they would accuse him of being a Russian puppet. But for some reason, when it seems like he's a Philadelphia puppet, none of them ever say anything even remotely close to that, which good for them. Good for them for doing that. You want to stay consistent in your messaging. You don't want to just switch places just based on what things look like. So shout out to them. They're still saying he's a Russian puppet from time to time. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. It's very sad. Very, very sad. I feel like I got hoodwinked. I feel like he hoodwinked me like Balix Tones did. I feel like he hoodwinked me. He got me. I feel like he got me. Anyway, someone said he's a puppet of both. You're 60 for sure. For sure you're 60 saying stuff like that. That's ridiculous. He's a puppet of both. You should check out how Russia feels about Philadelphia. You should probably look into that because you couldn't do both. You couldn't do both. Believe you me. You should take a gander into that really quick. Anyways, guys. Let's jump into what happened to Ian. I couldn't find the exact live stream where this happened, but Ian got attacked by some bots as he was using web and exposing things as Ian does. And this is what they were doing to him, saying to him, trying to put into his head. This is very threatening, I think. It says, "Stop trying to expose us. We will end you." And it was just hundreds of messages like that. Stop trying to expose us. We will end you. We will end you. We will end you. We will end you. It was pretty crazy. As he was using web and, doing what he does with web, showing people how it works, showing people the benefits of it, pretty much making some really groundbreaking. This is a really groundbreaking thing that he's doing in the field of research. And who better to, do something like that other than the researcher extraordinaire that he is. But this is the bot attack that he received. Very, very, I don't know, Pretty scary. I mean, but he always, anytime he gets a bot attack, there's always a message. They used to always say, go and retire. They would say something about him retiring, like you need to retire, something like that. And then he would get hundreds of those messages. I've seen that happen. I've actually seen that happen to him on X as well. So, you know, I know everybody focuses on Candace, but Ian is putting in that work, and he's moving towards more than just what happened to Charlie. He's in with what happened to Charlie, but also he's, you know, really getting into the redacted files. He's really looking into the redacted island. And apparently there's people that don't like that. And the thing is, he's showing people how to do it as well. Usually, and they do this with bills as well. It's like you could go and read a bill before it's passed, but then it's 1,700 pages, and it's like, well, I don't know. Tell me what's in it. Fox, tell me what's in it. Some people are like, CNN, tell me what's in it. And you don't really get to know what's in it. They lie to you. They just say, it's border protection. And then it's all these other things, you know. Philadelphia gets 15 million. Ukraine gets 25 million. All these, billion. Sorry about that. So they lie, right? They hide what is called the pork. The pork is the fat of the bill, the things that they don't want you to see. And they do the same thing with these file drops. They don't want you to see what's going on with these files. They don't want you to understand. They don't want you to be able to read it. They want you to think that a bunch of it is just hearsay, that it's fake. That's what they're looking for. That's what they're hoping. They're hoping people don't actually look. They're hoping that people just kind of listen to other people, and those people don't have quite the correct information. They're hoping for broken telephone is what they're hoping for. Because by the time it gets to the other end, it just sounds like absolute nonsense, and people have no time for it. And what Ian's doing is making it so you don't have to do the broken telephone thing. Obviously, he doesn't have this open to many, like millions of people yet, but as they perfect something like this, when there is a bill, I mean, forget about just files. When there is a bill, you'll be able to set a data point of just going into the bill and just searching that bill, searching what it is and what's in it and blah, 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 how much money's going here and there and all these different things. You'll be able to do that with bills. You'll be able to do that with the redacted files. You'll be able to do that with files of the past. You'll be able to do that with JFK files. You'll be able to do that with pretty much anything that they put out there for you that they don't want you to particularly read. You'll be able to break it down real good. You'll be able to do it with your friends, you know? Transparency. That's real transparency, you know? So when there's real transparency going on, obviously, stop trying to expose us or we will end you. Completely understandable why you would say that if you were one of the people trying to hide things. I think that's valid. I actually think that's kind of valid. If you want to... I think it's valid if somebody's doing something like this. Your correct response would be, stop trying to expose us. We will end you. I think, you know, just knowing what I know about how they do things. Charlie Kirk questioned Philadelphia for 9 months and he's gone now. So it kind of makes sense that this is the response. Kind of makes sense. But I mean, the thing about Ian doesn't have a handler. Ian doesn't have any lady handlers around him. There's nobody to reel this guy in, you know? So obviously you gotta take a more aggressive approach. There's no pillow talk for Ian. There's nobody that they have assigned to him. So you just gotta get real aggressive with it. Kind of makes sense, actually. You know what? I'm on the other side of things now. I'm on the other side of things. This Ian is a rabble rouser, okay? And there's no beautiful pageant queen to reel this guy in. What else are they supposed to do? Can you imagine like a month from now, Ian's dating Miss Universe? Like, no, Ian, no, you can't do that. No, she's actually really cool, guys. She's really cool. She actually sings country music too. You guys should really check it out. Hey guys, let's not focus on Philadelphia anymore. I mean, I just want to be a good person. And that's what good people do. Let's focus up on left versus right. Can you imagine, Ian? Let's focus on left versus right, guys. I think that's the thing to do. And we really have to take a hard stance against these people. The woke mind virus is very real. Can you imagine? How disappointed would you be, right? But he's not going to do that. Then also Webb showed the same thing, you know, the crash out is coming. And if you haven't followed Webb, follow Webb. It'll give you updates, things of that nature, anything that they have going on. They will let you know about updates to the app when it becomes available to broader audiences. Everything will be there, so definitely check that out. I don't have time to do it today. Again, we had so much stuff going on with the hospital, and I was up for like 24 hours, and I was just awake, sleep deprived, and scared, trying to fend off weird occultist nurses and doctors. They're weird. They're odd. If you are one, I apologize. But I mean, the atmosphere that they put you in when you're in a hospital is just like unmatched. It's just unmatched. Like, oh, the light's always on. Somebody comes in every 30 minutes. It's like, oh. So I haven't had time to sit down with Webb, but I am going to do a live stream, I think this week, where I just kind of sit down with Webb and ask some questions. Again, I want to see turning points and redacted files. I want to see if any of the characters, even, you know, you don't even have to focus just on Turning Point. I would say Turning Point, Rob McCoy's Chapel, I would say Cornerstone, I would say Build Up Korea even, and that whole movement, Liberty University. I mean, finding the major players within each one of those and then seeing if they have anything, not even just them themselves, because I doubt that's what we're going to find, but anything that's adjacent to it. That's what I would look into. And that's what I plan to look into. So that's Ian. That's what's going on with Ian. Like I said, guys, Candace cannot stop. This is one of the many things that she ended up posting recently. And this is about Jillian Falcone. I don't know if it's pronounced Falcone or Falcon. I have no idea. But she made sure, and I think this is kind of telling of what Candace is going to be talking about when she comes back, because she did say that they are prepping for an Erica Kirk series of sorts, not as long as Brigitte, but, you know, a few episodes dedicated just to Erica, because, you know, Candace is not playing around. She's swinging right now. So she made sure to show that Jillian said the photo shoot booked for next Friday, and then she's saying Jillian told the truth, because a lot of people don't believe that the whole thing where Erica is like, don't have salty food, you don't want to look bloated, etc., etc. A lot of people would try and have us believe that that was for a job interview or something that wasn't connected to Erica at all. Candace Owens found out that it actually was towards a photo shoot that Erica sent her to, allegedly, I guess. But I mean, it's coming from Jillian. This is Jillian saying this, so I don't know how much allegedly you really want to put on that. But you know us here, we'll put a little allegedly, we'll put a little of maybe, and we'll give you a splash of perhaps just right on, just one of those, just right on top, some perhaps on top, right? So very interesting, very, very interesting. I mean, that is just, I mean, I so want to look into the modeling world more, pageant world more. I really want to understand that, because what's his name? Lex Wexner? Is that how you pronounce it? The fact that he had Victoria's Secret, right? Obviously, they're all super old. I mean, they're in their 20s. I mean, gross, right? If you're a certain person, a little redacted Jeff and whatnot, and his team of deplorables there, they're far too old. But it is this thing that comes to mind where it is like a catalog of sorts, right? When you're trying to figure out who is the best and most beautiful, you want to be able to sort them out. You don't actually want to have a legit catalog presented to you, because that's just too much evidence. So you want to just be able to go to a website that's a legit website and just look at the people, and you can see everything about them. And that's exactly what the pageant world offers these guys. And then here's another picture, and this is something I have to look into. This person mentioned this. I don't know much about it. They said iGroup is now bankrupt. Bankrupt model and talent agency. The more you look, the worse it gets. And this is actually a picture from Jillian. This is the day of her photo shoot, apparently, where she said, meeting time, iGroup, Suns Out. Oh, Suns Out. Sorry. Yeah. I have problems with English, right? And then Erica below saying, kill it. So that was quite some time ago. Right? How many weeks ago? 617 weeks ago. So this is a while ago, right? Check that out. So that's her. This is Jillian with her feet up, has these shoes on, red bottoms, red bottom. I don't know. There's a shoe society, but I don't think the ladies are in the red bottom shoe society. But it is this picture. It is her saying that she's going to this meeting, and Erica is saying kill it, which kind of hints towards Erica knowing exactly what she's going to be doing, which is the photo shoot. So iGroup is the thing to look into. I don't know if Candace knows about iGroup. I have no idea. But I always assume she does. When it comes to Candace, you know, a lot of people are always like, they send me stuff all the time. Like, can you get this to Candace? I'm like, I don't know Candace. I don't know her. Better off doing that with Baron or something, or Baron or Ian. But I mean, or just send it to her tips line, right? But they're always sending me stuff, you know, make sure Candace sees this, you know, yeah, but she probably has. I always assume that she has. Whenever I'm posting things or talking about things, I'm usually talking about it. Sometimes I'm talking about things a day before she talks about it, but I always just assume she knows. I mean, it's the one thing she's looking into more than anything. And she's not one of those people who's like, oh, someone else runs my, you could tell Candace runs her X feed. You can tell by the things that she says and the things she's been saying that that's just straight up Candace. Now, there is something I'm gonna give you guys. You know what? I don't usually warn people. You know, I'm not even gonna warn you guys. Jump scare, bang. Hello. Hello. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. You okay? Who is this guy? This guy's the new owner of Zorro Ranch. What? What? He looks like it, right? This guy looks like he would own Zorro Ranch. If you don't know what Zorro Ranch is, Redacted Jeff owned Zorro Ranch, and people suspect that is where some of the most heinous things took place. People also want to look into the grounds and use LiDAR to see if there's anything buried there, that type of thing. So they really want to look into Zorro Ranch. This guy went and grabbed it. This guy, oddly, has been endorsed by Turning Point. His name is Don Huffins. I believe that's how you say that, Huffins, the new owner of Zorro Ranch. They've endorsed him for Texas comptroller, right? Very odd guy. I don't know if you guys can tell. This gentleman is not going to be opening up the grounds to Zorro Ranch. He seems like a guy who is not going to be cooperating with investigators, you know? I would think, just by the look of him, and, you know, I'm not saying this is real or anything, but it seems like there's a lot, I won't even say anything about him. It seems like there's a lot of people running cover for Redacted Jeff. Even though Redacted Jeff is supposedly gone. He's gone. He's left this earth, and he's gone, not up, of course. He's gone straight down to the bowels of hell, right? Where he's being celebrated for sure. But I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of people running cover for him. Like, this guy buys it and makes sure imagine, well, I don't even know about Elon. Elon's in the files too. But imagine somebody who's not in the files ends up buying that ranch and is like, excavate, do whatever you got to do. Let's tear this place apart and find anything we could possibly find. That could actually lead to something. This guy doesn't look like he is going to be doing that type of thing. This guy looks like if there's any bones on that property, he's making stew. That's the kind of guy the guy looks like. He looks like he's the kind of guy that's making stew and adding salt, you know? He doesn't look like he's trying to help anybody out, figure out what's going on with Redacted Jeff. He looks like he's making bone broth. That's just me. I could be wrong. You know, it's very interesting that Turning Point is endorsing this guy. You know, that's always pretty telling. Bone stew. Yeah. Forked tongue. Yeah. You know what I mean? He has DNA like everything does, but it's not quite the same type of DNA that all of us have. It's a little different. It's a little more cold-blooded, this guy's DNA. I'm just saying, you know? It could be a very warm fellow, but he seems like his skin would be cold to the touch. That's all I'm saying. I don't know him personally. Lord knows I wouldn't touch him, right? I'm just... Just saying. I'm just saying, man. Anyway, let's hear about this guy a little more. Don Huffins. Dear Don Huffins, somebody wrote this to him. We have reason to believe that there are several people that may be on your property currently because of whose ranch it belonged to before. I will pay 100% of the cost to professionally scan and exhume the remains. As a Republican running for public office in Texas, I'm sure you would want to help to end a terrible chapter in U.S. history. My DMs are open. We can give the bodies to the respect that they deserve. Zach Nelson. I don't know who Zach Nelson is, but this gentleman here wants to have that done. Let's look into this guy just really quick. So this is Zach Nelson. He is offering that. And I guess that's what he wants to have happen. I've never seen this guy before. I shouldn't even do this. I don't even know who he is. I got to scan this page without you guys seeing it first, because this guy could be something else. Okay, he's posting Massey. Okay. This guy's okay. He's okay. There's not going to be anything crazy popping up on his feed. Cool. But he's saying that he wants the bodies. Potential, allegedly, maybe, perhaps. There's no proof. People believe that is the case. Let me just read here. I have to like self-censor as I'm reading, but let me read why he believes this. There's a certain email correspondence which is giving him reason to believe that that's going on. Now, this is an email that was from Redacted, of course, Proton Mail. Proton won't give up anything either. That's what's great about Proton, but in this case, it's like, so Proton won't give up anything. Edward, this is sensitive, so it will be the first and last email, depending on your discretion. You can choose to take it or trash it, but this comes from a person that has been there and seen it all. As a former staff at the Zorro Ranch, the material below was taken from Redacted Jeff's home as my insurance in case my future litigation against Redacted Jeff. Sorry, no questions. What is damning about Redacted Jeff is that is yet to be written. What? What? Did you know somewhere in these hills outside Zorro, 2 foreign ladies were put in the ground on orders of Redacted Jeff and Madam G? That is what he's calling the other one that's in jail right now. Madam G. Both passed from lack of air. Let's put it that way. During rough, you understand, yes? Here's the video footage. Redacted Jeff, link. See here. Link, truncated, 13-minute, 50 seconds. Wow. The stuff that they're writing that are in these videos is crazy. I'm glad I made sure not to show you guys, but it is terrible. Man, it's crazy. So crazy. 15 seconds, girl from Bay Area. Wow. To Madam G. Holy. Okay, the USB will be sent anonymously to your attention by overnight carrier upon the receipt of funds. You have my assurance. This is exclusive, never shared before. No attorneys, no samples, no questions, please. Confirm ASAP. Whoa. So this is sent by 2 people. So now the reason that he's feeling, Zach Nelson and others, I'm sure, that there is possibly people in those hills, in that soil, is because of this email correspondence that they have found in the files. Let me go straight to this. If you want to see the actual, boom, there it is. So, I mean, you can't see that. I can just read that to you, but this is the file that you'd find it under if you were searching, and if you have access to web, you might actually have this. EFTA 000670066. That will show the email correspondence. Okay, again, you know, I don't want to read what was in there, but the videos that they're talking about, but it's the kind of videos that we've been hearing about, apparently. So, and also there's no knowing if this person that was sent the email confirmed or just ignored it. But they're a bunch of sickos, right? So they probably were like, yeah, I want to see it. Yeah, I want to see it. So there's that. So that's going on with that guy. This guy has been confirmed as being supported by Turning Point. Once again, I mean, just making bones stew, you know? That's who Turning Point. I mean, Turning Point is odd. Would it be like this if Charlie was here? Would they still be doing this stuff? You know? I don't know if they would, man. Charlie was going really hard when it came to redacted files. He was going really, really hard. Really, really hard. He made sure to know, everybody knew where he stood on that topic. Everybody understood where he stood on that topic, and who he thought Redacted Jeff was working for. He made sure to keep asking questions. He made sure. So if Turning Point all of a sudden, or the people of Turning Point were like, hey, let's support this guy, he'd be like, no. I mean, maybe he wouldn't, but maybe he'd look at this and be like, and the guy has Zorro Ranch? Because he still would have bought the ranch if Charlie was still alive. He would have been like, this guy owns the ranch. He's not helping at all with what's suspected, and we're supposed to support this guy in taking any type of office? Like, I think Charlie would be against that 100%. I mean, again, never met Charlie, but given what I know about what he was trying to do, there's a race here. I don't know if you guys knew about this. Boom. Bannon comes in at the top, 1,900 total emails when it comes to with Redacted Jeff. Reid Hoffman comes in second place with a healthy 1,700, a devilish, dastardly 1,737 emails. Bill Gates lacking, far behind. But sometimes they say quality over quantity. Who knows what Bill's really doing? But he's in last place there. The reason that I show you this, because Reid Hoffman, with the 1,700 back and forths with Redacted Jeff, he actually said this recently. He said the FBI has completely cleared him of any wrongdoing when it comes to the redacted files. Okay? He goes, the FBI cleared me, on the other hand. Now, this is because Elon said Hoffman should be investigated. Okay? So Elon made sure to say that out loud. Now, obviously, Elon wanted to go to these parties too. And the only reason that maybe he shouldn't be investigated is because it seems like he never got a chance to go to these parties. He said he wanted to go to the wildest one. I mean, I don't know what that means, but we all know what we think it means. We think it means that he's a sicko, right? But Reid Hoffman is like, I was cleared. I was completely cleared of any wrongdoing. Now, it turns out that is 100% not true. He's just saying that. And you know what? I guess anybody would say that if they could. Elon Musk doubles down on this whole thing when it comes to Reid Hoffman. Because apparently, Reid Hoffman, when it comes to Peter Thiel said when he was on Rogan that the person who was trying to introduce him to Redacted Jeff was actually Reid Hoffman. And Reid Hoffman apparently was trying to introduce a few rich billionaire types to Redacted Jeff, probably at Redacted Jeff's request, right? Elon said this too. Elon said that Reid Hoffman tried to introduce him to Jeff, and obviously succeeded, because Elon was like, hey, let's party. Let's do whatever it is you do. But Elon is now taking the high horse, apparently, and he's saying, you're a liar. You are guilty of dark deeds, and you haven't been cleared of anything. You stayed at Redacted Jeff's Island, on Redacted Jeff Island, the ranch in New Mexico, the place in New York. You offered, wait, hold on a second. You offered to help him with PR. You gave him gifts. Whoa, geez. Maybe it was only one stayover. You could claim it was a mistake, maybe, but there is no possible explanation for the second time, let alone the third time. As records show, you are an eager repeat customer. Wow. Elon going hard at Reid there. If you don't know who Reid is, Definitely look him up. Just like everybody who's involved in this whole thing, a titan of industry, just a titan of industry, very important person, billionaire. He was alongside Redacted Jeff a few times, apparently, given the emails, and Elon Musk has been saying it. He said it in an interview with Tucker Carlson as well. He said that he definitely participated, like he made sure to say everything about Reid Hoffman. That was before we knew Elon was trying to message Redacted Jeff as well. Now that we know that, it's like, I like what you're doing, Elon, but what were you planning on doing? You know, we like what you were doing, but what were you about to do if Jeff had said, hey, head on over? What were you going to do? And what does it mean when Redacted Jeff gets wild? What does that mean? How wild does he get? We all have an idea of how wild he gets. Is that how wild you were about to get? Well, no. I enjoy X, though. I enjoy X. Thanks. Anyway, this is who they're telling us Maxwell is now. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're telling you that this is Maxwell. Just so you know. Just so you know. This is what they're telling you now. Right now, this is Maxwell. That's what they say. It's not this, which was her when she was locked up just a few weeks ago. Or not, sorry, this wasn't taken a few weeks ago. This was like maybe 8 months ago, right? That's what she looked like. They're saying this is what she looks like now. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. They're saying that she looked like this, right? And now she looks like this. Okay. They're telling you that she changed and looks like a Japanese man now. That's what they're telling you. Right down to the hairstyle. Okay. Okay, thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting us know. Okay. This is the person you have now? Oh, they're in jail? Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, and this is the same person. Okay. Thanks a lot. Hey, thanks a lot. Just as she's coming out saying she wants clemency, she's willing to clear the now president's name, which is crazy. And then she got put into a cushy facility. Now, after being put into the cushy facility, she looks like a Japanese man who enjoys watching K-pop concerts. Okay. Cool. Thanks, man. Hey, thanks, media. Thanks, media. We appreciate it. We really appreciate it. And we believe you. I believe the media. I always believe the media. It's one of my best traits is that I believe the media no matter what. That's always been me. And I mean, look, they look the same, right? That looks like the same person, you know? Oh man, she's on an island. Man, maybe redacted island. I don't know, but she's somewhere where there's palm trees. There's palm trees and there's white sand, and she's chilling. She probably has a Corona, you know, and she probably looks at it and goes, Corona, remember? And they're just, you know. Redacted Jeff, could you pass me a lime? Could you please pass me a lime? Don't use the knife with the blood all over it. Actually, use the knife with the blood all over it. It's fine. Thank you so much. You know, just on an island somewhere, hanging out. And this person's in their place, you know, just getting their kids in Japan just taken care of, you know. Who is that? Who is that person? Come on. What are we doing here? Is that what we're doing? People are just supposed to believe that? I don't believe it. Not for a second. This is crazy. This is crazy. I mean, people right away are just like, no, I refuse. Look at this. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here, guys? That to that? How? I mean, everything changes. You know? I mean, what are we talking about? Like that's the biggest one. That's what she looks like. No makeup, you know, not out on the town, right? None of that. None of that. This is just what she looks like. Bare bones. She's been in jail for a while at this point, right? She's helping inmates get released from jail. At least that's what they were saying. They're like, oh, she's an upstanding person, right? That's what she looks like in jail. to that. What are we talking about? Come on. What are you doing? This is insulting at this point, you know? It would be more respectful. It would be more respectful if they just said, you know what? We released her. And what are you going to do about it? I'd respect that so much more. If Kash Patel just came on TV and he's just like, Maxwell's been released, okay? Valhalla's a real place, and that's where she is, and we've released her because she gave us some information that we wanted, okay? And we're not going to tell you what the information is, and we're not arresting anybody, okay? What are you going to do about it? I'd be like, wow, that is some balls on that guy. I'd be like, okay, all right, that's what they're doing, cool. But you just look at me and you tell me that this lady's this lady. You're insulting me for absolute, wow. That popped up out of nowhere. You're insulting me for absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason. I don't need to be insulted like this. This is crazy. What are you doing that to me for? I don't know, guys. I mean, it could be, right? Could be. Anyway, Pam Bondi, more embarrassment from Pam Bondi. Right when you thought it just couldn't be enough. Right when you thought just couldn't be enough. Right? You thought when it came to the files, she yelled about the Dow. She was like, these men who are in power make the Dow what it is. And now you're asking me why I protect them. Do you want the market to crash? These men are titans of industry. They're the pillars of these societies. Do you want the food supply to shut down? Please stop asking me questions. My life is in danger as well. They told me they would make me like Charlie. Do you understand what I'm saying? So can we talk about the Dow instead? They will make you all like Charlie as well, guys. You guys are not immune. You know, that was just her whole speech, just filibustering, you know. But Pam Bondi announces more of a release. The DOJ releases more files in the Transparency Act, including justified redactions and a list of high-level names appearing in the documents, okay? Now, what was said with this, because this is what was released. Now, what everybody started saying is that they released, and when I say everybody, I mean just these conservative talking heads. I'm just so disillusioned how these conservative talking heads that I've followed and I've agreed with for so long have just decided to Don Lemon it up. They've all decided they're Don Lemon, they're Chris Cuomo, they're Anderson Cooper. They're all wearing silver wigs. And they're all Rachel Maddow with the Rachel Maddow glasses now. They're all Joy Reid with the blonde hair. You're bald and blonde at the same time. They're all Joy Reid now. And they're all talking in unison. Hoodwinked. I got hoodwinked again. I'm not unfollowing them either. I'm following all of them because I want to see it. I want to see it. You're going to shove it in my face. Shove it in my face then. It's fine. Okay? I got hoodwinked. That's three times. There's 3 times in 2026 I got hoodwinked. Balix Tones hoodwinked me. Cash hoodwinked. Bongino hoodwinked. Pam, I knew she was going to be terrible. I knew it. As soon as I saw her, I knew it. Because they didn't want Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is a wild boy. So whoever they replace him with is going to be a meat puppet, right? So I knew that. The now Prez, hoodwinked. I'm getting hoodwinked left and right. At least I can admit it, okay? There's a lot of guys who just kind of pivot without saying anything. At least I can admit it. It's getting hoodwinked left and right. It's getting ridiculous now. You know? If this guy's hoodwinking me, I'm going to flip out. If this guy and Candace are hoodwinking me, I'm going to go nuts, okay? I'm going to show up with clown makeup on because I deserve it. If Candace gets me too, I'm putting clown makeup on and no more hats. It's going to be a red wig, big red wig, stupid nose, dunce cap on. Hope not. Anyway. I'm just saying, it's getting ridiculous now. Can we just admit it? You know, like I love Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon's great, but it's like you're sitting down with JD Vance, okay? And you're like, oh, at least be like, hey, I got hoodwinked, because you did, right? Right? We all helped. We all helped this admin. I'm one of the creators. We all helped. We all got hoodwinked. We should all be coming out and saying it. You know, Andrew Schultz is like, I'm disgusted with ICE, right? I'm just disgusted with what they're doing. Hey, you gonna admit you got hoodwinked yet, bro? You just flipping? That's why I'm admitting it, because the mainstream, they never admit when they're wrong. They never do. And it's so frustrating. Andrew Schultz is just like, he's acting like he never supported, you know? Even Rogan, acting like you never supported. You know you supported. You had them on the show. You laughed with them, man. You got hoodwinked. You got to tell people. You got to wear a shirt says I got hoodwinked. Something. Come on, man. Can't just sit there with that face and not admit. Can't just sit there with that face and not admit you got hoodwinked. It's not right. You got to admit it. You got to admit it when it happens. What can we do? Anyway. My TED Talk for the day. Here's the names on here. Just a bunch of names. But here's the thing about these names. This is where it gets real dumb. Right? Where's Janis Joplin? Yeah, you heard right. Where's Janis Joplin on here? Okay? Janis Joplin, there she is, right at the top there. You see that? Right under Hakeem Jeffries. You see that? Right at the top. Second name. Right before RFK Jr. Right above Janis Joplin. What? You see what I mean? So what this list is, it's just a list of anybody who's been mentioned in the files. Where's the other guy? Where's Jones? There he is. Right at the top. Third row, top name. Jones. There he is. Cat turds on this list. It's anybody who was named at all. Not even customer, not island, not flights. It's just if Jeff said their name at all, if anybody in any correspondent or any bureau report said a name or mentioned a name, they're just putting all the names together. This is the definition of Fed slop. It's the definition of Fed slop. That's what they gave us. What? Peter Thiel, I'd believe it. There's Peter Thiel right there. Look, even JD Vance is on the list. Mark Zuckerberg's on the list. I need you to find me one human lady that is human like I am to tickle my hard drive. I am a human man with a hard drive. Let's all partake in liquid. Let's all partake in hydrogen. 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I enjoy the oxygen myself as I am human. Right? That's how he drinks. I believe it. I can see him getting wild on an island, you know? Just getting real wild, just doing all sorts of dance moves. I've downloaded breakdancing onto my motherboard. Allow me to break it down, you know? Anyway, that's what they showed. And everybody who was one of these media talking heads started talking about, oh my gosh, what Pam Bondi did and how much she's released. And it's just incredible, the transparency that they've shown. Oh my gosh, everybody should know. And then you know what they said after that? Because it got exposed. Everybody was like, this is a lie. This is not true. You know? Balix. Balix was the first one. Oh, I'm going to do a standalone video about Balix. And this whole thing, it was ridiculous what Balix did. Ian had to call him out, which I enjoyed so much. I love that people are jumping on the Balix, the Balix bandwagon. I love it so much. But then all of a sudden, the DOJ comes forward and they're like, hey, after releasing 3.5 million files, half of the 6 million files in the archive, the DOJ has announced that it has concluded its disclosure and won't release any more files. This is after they said they released all the files. Okay. All right. All right. You did well. You did good. At first, there was barely any files. Then Cash was like, there's not. First, Pam was like, they're on my desk. There's tens of thousands of things for me to look at, videos and everything. It's crazy. And then Cash was like, there's nothing. And if there was, I would have brought it to you 6 weeks ago. You guys know me. You guys know me, right? And the producer's like, can you please not get honey all over the microphone? That will destroy the microphone. And he's like, I'm sorry. I don't know where all this honey's even coming from. I hang out with my girlfriend, and the next thing you know, I'm covered in honey. She says it's nothing. I don't really know. Is she my handler? And the producer's like, listen, we can't have this conversation. We have to talk about the files. He's like, there are no files. Then somebody with orange hair is like, it's a hoax, and it's not real at all. And then when that didn't work, they're like, okay, we'll give you the files. If this was your friend, you'd be like, F you, man. F you and don't talk to me anymore. You're a liar. That's what you would do. If it was one of your friends, you'd never talk to him again. You'd be like, you are a crazy person and you lie all the time and I can't trust you. That's what you would say to your friend. That's 100% what you'd say to your friend. Then they release the files, and it's a pretty crazy release. I mean, there's pages that are just black. I was about to pull out an ultrasound of my kid. Just how black it is. It's just black. Right? But there's still names and emails and everything. But first, they bring out the huge redacted thing. They spend $1.8 million hiring a redacting crew that Dan Bongino was a part of. And after Dan Bongino's hands cramp up from redacting things all night, he's like, I'm going back to podcasting. What? Check his bank account. I'm pretty sure he's probably still getting money from the Bureau. I mean, what are we talking about? This is crazy. And then finally, they give you some real emails and everything. And then they just go, you know what? We gave you this BS list of names. We're done. We're not giving you any more. After they just said that was everything. You know? Spit in my face and call me Carla, right? Might as well. You might as well. Slap some lipstick on me and take me out to the keg, to Baton Rouge. Take me somewhere nice at least where I can have steak, please. Don't take me to McDonald's and make me eat in the washroom, right? That's what they're doing to us right now. Craziest analogies ever. The craziest analogies you've ever heard in your life. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, just absolute. Yeah, Dan Bongino, black pill grifters. You guys are all grifters. Says the guy that was just working with the Bureau. Guy was deputy. Guy was chief deputy. And we're the grifters. You came back to podcasting. Came back to podcasting acting like nothing happened. Acting like he just went on a vacation, you know? Just came back. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm here to take the movement back. What? Bro, you'll never be Rush Limbaugh now. He had a good chance of being just like Rush Limbaugh one day. You know, just going into this whole thing, into his old age. He'll never be Rush Limbaugh now. Never in his wildest dreams will he be anything like Rush Limbaugh. At least Rush Limbaugh just stuck to the script. He didn't go work anywhere. He was just like, I'm going to show up every day. I'm just going to do the show. That's it. You know, he didn't do podcasts until like the late years of his life. He was still doing radio at that point. And Dan was the closest thing to Rush Limbaugh. He'll never be Rush Limbaugh now. Now Tim Dillon is Rush Limbaugh. And he's not even like he's not conservative. He's just like a crazy, you know. I only say that because he's fat. He probably doesn't consider himself Rush Limbaugh, but you know. Don't say it's me. You know me, emails I've gotten, people telling me that my dad says you remind him of Rush Limbaugh. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess it's a compliment. But it's like after I gained weight. So it's rude at the same time. You know? It's a rude compliment that you're giving me. And it's all these people who are like 60 and over, and they keep sending me these emails about me being like Rush Limbaugh. Fine. It's a compliment. It's okay. It's okay. You wait till I lose the weight. You wait till I lose the weight. You're going to be like, you remind me of 50 Cent. You remind me of 50 Cent. You remind me of Mr. Olympia. You know that? My dad was saying you remind him of Arnold Schwarzenegger in his heyday. That's what they're going to be saying soon enough. Oddly enough, just to talk about, redacted files more, this guy's name's Martin Nowak or Nowak. He's a professor at Harvard. And he sent that email. Okay. Again? Okay. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Is this it? Are we going to forget about this soon? Have there been people that have already forgot? They're like, yeah, the files, and that's it? It's just done? Is that how it works? This is very interesting if that's how it works. Very, very interesting. I mean, this guy is just, he's a professor. They know it. Why don't they just arrest? I don't understand. Why don't they just arrest him? They have they've had the email. They have his name. He's a professor. Like, what's the big deal? Like, I get it. Fine. The people who like really make the world run, I get it. You don't want to like talk to them. You don't want to do anything. They probably have such high level security, probably rival small militaries. Okay, fine. But this guy's a professor. At least take a professor. What are we talking about here? You can't take a professor? Who is this guy? I'm not even going to read the email in front of you guys. Oh, the email's short. It's just, did you torture? Come on, man. Hands behind your back at some point, no? This is getting crazy. This is getting absolutely crazy. Look, at least here, where is this? Former Norway Prime Minister. Look, in Norway, they're like, we're taking action, right? This guy's been charged with corruption after the probe into the files, and they see that he has ties to the guy. Do something, right? A former prime minister is like a former president. There's some former presidents involved. Like, why aren't you doing the same thing? What's going on? What? It's really one big club. That's why they went after George Carlin, because it's really one big club and we're not in it. That's why, if you don't know, that's why the Bureau and the agency both had files on George Carlin because of the things that he would say. You know? My file's probably so dumb if they got a file on me. Well, he speaks in coded language. This is what Philadelphia means. We're pretty sure this is what mints mean. We're thinking that mints actually just mean mints. Why would he be talking about mints? We're not exactly sure. We think it's connected to Philadelphia. And then there's a network of people making memes about the mints. We're not really sure what all this means. He wears a Longhorn shirt day after day. We're thinking that means something in regards to Texas and some kind of movement there. But we're not 100% sure. Maybe it means something about a ranch. We don't know quite yet. He says Erica puts sparkles on. We're not 100% sure what sparkles mean yet. They're just watching my show pissed. They're like, what is this? What is this? Why are we watching this? Just listen to what he's saying, okay? He's talking about Philadelphia, and I need to know what that means. You'll never find out. You'll never find out. We don't discuss it. We don't even discuss it in the comment section. We're not even sure what it means anymore. You'll never catch us. You'll never catch us. Oh, man. Anyway, when this lady called Erica Kirk a psychopath, a lot of people took to it. In fact, there are 9 million people who thought this was the best thing ever. You know? Isn't that weird? So many people listened to that, listened and read this whole thing where this Elizabeth Lane was talking about Erica Kirk being a psychopath, and everybody, almost everybody, like unanimously, pretty much, right? If there was a like to dislike ratio, it would be like 98% likes, 2% dislikes. And those 2% of people are just like, they're paid shills, you know? they're all like, we agree. Isn't that weird? Could you imagine reading that and seeing everybody agreeing that you're a psychopath? And then you're sitting there like a psychopath and you're just putting on sparkles and you're like, if I could kill all these people, I would. I hate that they called me a psychopath. That's not true. I mean, I'd end all of their lives if I could. Couldn't. There's only one life I could end. Anyway, if I see these people in the street, I'll try and do something to them. Can we cancel these people at all? Can we sue these people? I'm not a psychopath. It's really weird that they would say that about me. I'm not. I'm not at all. You know, putting on sparklers, not giving people hats, you know, just weird stuff like that. Ah, man. I was going to get into the whole thing with Candace. I'm going to make a standalone episode about that, I think. Basically, you know, just for the live stream viewers, because you guys are here and you guys are cool, right? The live stream click is absolutely amazing. So I'll get into it with you guys really quick. It's just, oh, Ian Carroll. Wow, look at Ian Carroll. Come on, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to read that in a second. But the whole thing with Candace, man, Candace gets the withdrawals just like we do. And Candace finds this lowly, just no followers producer who produces the Charlie Kirk show. She discovers that he's deleting Charlie Kirk's videos from Spotify. So she finds out and she's like, hey, stop doing that. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And she's like, I can see you doing that. And he's like, I didn't do anything like that. Right? So they go back and forth. This guy ends up just going straight towards race. He's like, you're a DEI queen. That's why you worked at the Daily Wire. That's why you worked with Turning Point. This guy works for Turning Point. He's saying this to Candace. Absolutely crazy. Right? Why would a DEI hire be needed at Turning Point so early in the company? That's usually like down the line. Like right now, Turning Point needs some DEI. Like right now, they need to but not at the beginning. At the beginning, you're like, it's just me. What's the problem? I'm a white guy. It's okay. It's just me. I'm sorry. When I hire more people, don't even worry about it. You know, you can make that argument. So he ends up saying that she's a DEI queen. She says, what does my race have to do with anything? He's deflecting completely from the fact that he's deleting Charlie Kirk episodes from Spotify and YouTube. He's deleting them left and right. Who knows what Charlie was saying in these episodes? We'll never know because they're gone now. I don't know if you can do the Wayback Machine when it comes to Spotify. I think you can do it when it comes to YouTube. Not 100% sure, but man, they're gone now. Who knows what they're taking away? Maybe it's all the things where Charlie was actually questioning things. Like we have to look and see is the Megyn Kelly episode gone from when he did that with Megyn Kelly? Is the Ben Shapiro episode gone when he had that conversation with Ben Shapiro on September 8th? Are those things gone now? Is when he was talking about Redacted Jeff working for Philadelphia, is that gone now? We have to actually look and check now because they deleted a bunch of stuff. The same way Erica was purging hers and Andrew Colvette was purging his. Now they're purging Charlie. It's crazy. So she calls that out, right? She calls it out. He goes DEI queen. She says, what's race have to do with anything? They just have this back and forth. I'll get into, when I do the standalone episode, I'll go into detail and show everything. But then this guy makes a 3D rendering of a African, like a lady African crown hat. And because she's a queen and she's black, he says, this is for you. This guy is crashing out epic proportions. Then after that, he kind of tries to walk it all back. And he says, listen, I'm not deleting anything. Spotify is archiving the episodes because there's too many episodes and it doesn't have the bandwidth. Just a blatant lie. I have more episodes on Spotify. Just so you know, guys know, a little promo there. I'm actually on Spotify. You can actually go watch the podcast on Spotify. We're monetized there. It helps. But I have more episodes there. I've never had an episode. You can go right to episode 1. It's called Free Sneako. You can go right to episode 1. It's right there. It's all there. They never archive episodes. Joe Rogan has more. Actually, I have more than Joe Rogan. But Joe Rogan has a massive amount of episodes. You can go right down to the bottom and you will find episode number 1. 100%. There's no videos getting taken down. Spotify is not going to say, well, we like to make money off of every single episode that this massive podcast has, or even a small one or a big one. We're making money either way. So what we're going to do is we're going to archive episodes so no one can see them and we can't make any money. And we're going to do that to the tune of millions of podcasts so we can lose millions of dollars. So the guy just makes up a blatant lie. I call it out. Candace likes what I said. So obviously now I'm getting attacked on X because she liked the thing that I said, because that's how that works. It's ridiculous. God forbid if she retweets something that you say. Oh gosh, it's crazy what happens. You ever had that happen? It's nuts. It's terrible, actually. It's wild what happens, what they do once they figure out that she likes you a little bit. It's crazy. So then that happens. This guy just kind of doesn't go silent, but he keeps going back and forth. But at the end of the day, what matters the most is that they're just deleting the episodes of his show. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. I had all that ready, and then X went down, and I couldn't... I just see on the chat, it just says, message removed by Mossad. So, I don't know. I don't know what they're deleting from Charlie. I don't know what they're taking away. I don't know if we'll ever be able to see it. Hey, what's going on in the chat here? Has my wife given away 20 memberships today? Has she done that yet? Honey, you can give away 10 if you want. You could go ahead. Only because we're near the end and the people who are here are cool, you know? They're really cool. So if you know how to give them away, you can give them away right now. You could do 10. You could go ahead and do that. That's fine. She's just throwing money. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. I'm a provider. It's fine. But, anyway. I know Black Poppy. Oh yeah, I know Black Pop. I gotta show you guys these. I gotta show you at least one. I mean, this guy. Let me see if I can find it. I saved it on Instagram. Hopefully I can actually find it, because this blew my mind. I mean, this is a movement, guys. Everybody knows. Black people know about this. There is a movement of I know Black Poppy. It is a real thing, guys. Let me just, here it is. Here, check. This is crazy to me. This is nuts. Look at this.
Negro? Ay, Dios mío. Papi, no. Papi, no. Me no black. Dominican. Negro? Nunca. Dominican. Negro nunca. Negro? Ay, Dios mío. Papi, no. Papi, no. Me no black.
Nunca. Negro? Nunca. They get mad about it. I'm not exaggerating, guys.
Dominican.
They look just like this, and they're like, I am not black. Nunca. They look just like that, and they're like, I am not black. And you're just like, are you sure? And they are sure. Okay? It goes without question. They are positive that they are not black. I'll show you one more. There's a bunch of them, but I'll show you one more. Actually, should I show you this one? Sure. There's so many, it's crazy. Here, I'll show you another one. Here, I'll show you one more.
Hello, okay, Poppy. I know black, I Dominican. Hello, okay, Poppy. I know black, I Dominican.
I mean, the shorts are no exaggeration. Okay? They're all built, They're built, all of them, okay? They're never out of shape. They're always built. The shorts are tight, the pants are tight, and they're not black. Okay? Put some respect on them. I just had to show you guys that. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's so many. You have no idea. I might have to start a segment where I'm just showing you the I Know Black Poppy clique, because they are a real clique of people. They're not playing around. I love it. I'm so happy about it. You have no idea. Let me start reading these here. Let me jump into the super chats. Look at that, 8,700. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Ian Carroll at the top there. I gotta see what Ian wrote. I gotta see. You know? What did Ian have to say? Hell yeah. I made it to a coach live stream. Let's go, homies. Thank you so much, Ian. I really, really, really appreciate it. Of course, he gets a heart. Thank you. Thank you for the advice as well. I really, really appreciate the advice, man. I just, I'm moving on it. And I don't even know if Ian's still here, but while we were talking about Kick and you were telling me what you were telling me, I made a Kick channel right away. So that's already there, and we'll see what we do with that. Maybe it'll be a members thing. Maybe I'll just go on there and just forget saying Philadelphia. Maybe I'll just let it fly over there. Maybe I'll just go nuts, you know? Maybe. No promises, but it is there now, and we'll see what we do with it. We'll see. I'm not even like pushing people to it or anything like that. But yeah, definitely. He gave me some great advice, guys. Really, really great advice. Anyways, let's jump in here and start reading these super chats, ladies and gentlemen. Who is this that said this? My occult interview. Miss Cassidy, just finished your occult interview. Very interesting. Love catching up on the old videos. When's the first members live stream? I don't know. Like, what day is it today? I thought about doing it on the weekend, but then we had that whole thing where we were just wrapped up in life. The 16th. I don't know. I should probably do it this week. That's probably what we should do. I don't know. Maybe we should do it on Friday. I want to do it when everybody could be there too, right? So maybe Friday. Maybe it'll be like after this show, and it'll just be like a straight up Q&A. Let's just talk about everything type of thing. Maybe we'll do that. I'm going to ask Baron how he handles his members' live streams, like what he actually does to do them, how that all works, because I don't fully know yet. But I'm thinking Friday. Before the week's done, I would think. And you finished the occult interview. I don't know which one that is. I've had a bunch, man. Like that demonologist that I talked to was really, really out there. And then there was an actual witch that I talked to. And you know what? People who are Christian will always be like, oh, you can't talk to people like this. You can't talk about things like that. But you know what? There was something that I was doing, okay? And I thought it was just like, whatever. This is just a thing that I do. I write things down. And he was like, that's witchcraft. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, if you're writing things down, he goes, that's not, he told me, he's like, that's not really of God. He's like, that's another thing. He's like, that's witchcraft. He's like, that's what we do. And I was like, oh. So it was actually a great conversation because I realized I was doing something that maybe I shouldn't be doing. And I stopped. So I'm glad that I talked to him. And honestly, he was like a father and stuff. Interesting guy. Really interesting guy. He was a witch that didn't believe in hippy dippy, like metaphysical stuff. It was really weird. It was really odd. He was like a science-based witch. It was odd conversation. But most scientists are, occultists and of that type of thing. Just wanted to say good morning, Hazel. Thank you so much, Hazel. Really appreciate that. Good morning to you as well. Good afternoon now. Mallory. Oh my gosh. Mallory. I can't believe it. Someone I actually know from life watching this whole thing. Oh my God. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Late. Crown Heights didn't raise you like that. Lots of love, you, wifey, and tiny baby. Thank you so much, Mallory. Really appreciate it. Mallory is my friend from time. What has it been? Like, we're 40 now. We have birthdays that are like 2 days apart. So, and she's older than me. She's much older than me, 48 hours older. And you know what's weird? And our dads worked together for like 20 years and we didn't even know. The weirdest thing, because my dad used to work as her dad was a gunsmith. My dad was quality control for like ammunition and firearms. So he did quality control for like 20 years. And then her dad was working right alongside of him. It was crazy. I could not believe it. It was the craziest thing ever. We had no idea because I didn't know my dad. And then he heard my full name one day and he was like, "Are you related to George?" And I was like, "Wait a second, what?" This guy's working with my dad for 20 years. And I'm best friends with his daughter. It was crazy. So weird the way life works, you know? Cole times train times, or Cole X train X. First super chat, truck driver here who listens as I drive and appreciate your work, sir. By the way, Wolves posted a new video already. He's going max. Proud of you, gentlemen. That's amazing. I wonder if you're talking about like right now. Like, did he just post a new video? That's crazy if he did. We'll cover it. I'll definitely cover it tomorrow. And I'm glad you listen to it while you drive. I always like to help people through their drives. That is what podcasts have done for me. Working and driving, I mean, that is just the time for it all. Babylon System is the vampire. Man, Jamie, the firecracker. If you guys don't know Jamie, Jamie's a firecracker. Jamie doesn't play around. Jamie's going to say whatever Jamie wants to say. And you're not going to dictate how Jamie talks, okay? Jamie wants to jump on here 5 times, tell you about Babylon. Jamie's going to jump on here 5 times, tell you about Babylon. Thank you, Jamie. Really appreciate you. Let's keep going here. Mimi, last night I was at work closing up when I randomly started singing, "I know Black Poppy. I, what have you done to me?" Oh my gosh. Absolutely hilarious. I was listening to that song I played over the weekend. I'm going to make that song my intro. I got to talk to that person that made that song, man. It's incredible. With friends like that, who needs enemies? Of course, you're talking about Turning Point. You have to be talking about Turning Point when you say that, without a doubt. Thank you so much. Greg says, the swamp, it's an ocean. Cash is a sheet of toilet paper. Oh, man. Thank you for not swearing, but also getting your point across so elegantly with Cash Patel. I get what you're saying 100%. Someone's calling me, and I know that they know I'm live. They know I'm live. They know it. They know it. But you know something? They're like they're Philadelphian, you know? They're one of those Philadelphia dudes trying to get at me. Let's keep going here. MTN Stars Stud. I'm just going to say Star Stud. It's probably Star Studded, but I'm going to say Star Stud. They attacked the messenger, avoid the message. And this was in response to Mitch Snow. That's what that person's talking about, 100%. And that's what they were doing. 100%, that's what they were doing. Allison Dean, 10. Mint Daddy Crew, holler. What is going on? I don't give a Dom. Dom is known. I see Dom on Barron's feed. I see Dom on X. Dom is known. I started live streaming my research. Thank you for inspiring authenticity like Ian, Barron, and Candace. I give lots of Doms a Joe style oxymoron. Grateful for the follow. I am the same username if anyone wants to follow. Yeah. I don't give a Dom is everywhere. X, wherever you're at. And you started live streaming your research. That's pretty cool. I have to check that out. As a matter of fact, are you on YouTube? I don't even know. You can't even answer back. Let's see here. I like shouting people out. I like to do it. Let's see here. Get this picture off the screen immediately. Danny Jones in the house. I don't give a Dom. Let's see. So you're not on YouTube. Where are you streaming? Where are you live streaming? Twitch? Because I don't see anything right now. I'm not seeing anything. Nothing's popping up. I'll try and do it in one word. I don't give a Dom is one word. Let's see if that works. You got to be prepared. You come on this show, okay? I'm gonna shout you out. You got to be. Oh, there it is. I don't give a Dom. Okay, so you were prepared. All right. It's all one word. Okay. Pretty cool. And what do you got? You got two videos. The Dow is over 50,000. Okay. When you said you live streamed, you got live streams here. Okay, you got one up. It's almost 3 hours. Okay. Heart Hands, Order of Odd Fellows. Okay. All right. Cool. 95 views. Keep going. You never know when it'll just jump up out of nowhere. It happens. It happens all the time for people. You never know. Anyway, thank you so much, Dom. Really appreciate you. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going here. Who do we have next? We got Janine. Is that Janine or is it Janie? Hi, coach. First time live from Scotland. Oh, I wish I could do a Scotland accent, a Scottish accent. Oh, I would. I have Scottish in my bloodline too. I was looking at, my mom did 23andMe. I was like, there's no way I'm doing it, but she did it. And there was some Scottish. I think there was Scottish and Irish, pretty sure, which is like a battle inside myself. Cohen Film, P is for pizza. Show of hands for how many have pizza tattooed inside their lip. Show of hands. Show of hands. Yeah. It's not a usual tattoo. It's really not a usual tattoo. It's a very unusual tattoo. If you guys don't know, Cabot Phillips has the word pizza tattooed on the inside of his lip. Let me tell you something. Okay. When it comes to actual pizza, you know, a pie, right? Like a real pizza. Okay. I love it, right? A lot of people do. Do we ever get the word tattooed on us though? No, because that would just be nuts. That would just be crazy for us to do. So none of us do that. I don't know. It's just Cabot, I guess. Maybe there's a bunch of them have that tattoo actually. Mitch Snow was vindicated about Fort Huachuca. Yeah, Mitch Snow and Fort Huachuca, it seems like he was really there. Seems like he was really there and he really saw those people. And, you know, it became even more believable with Wolves of Finance talking about it. He really the way he laid that out, it was like, oh, I kind of believe this even more than when I heard Candace bring him up. He made some really solid connections there. Tyler Boyer, Mikey McCoy, Blake Neff, Worship Ball. You miswrote ball. You misspelled ball. You wrote it differently. You wrote it a different way. If you know what I'm saying, LOL. I just had to. Also, your Balix Tones impression sounds like Hulk Hogan. That's who Balix Tone sounds like. He sounds like Hulk Hogan. He sounds like an imitation of Hulk Hogan. The Black Helicopters. Brandy B, welcome to the Mint Daddy crew. What up? Jamie, back again. Anyone notice how terrible Turning Point goes to this length to explain themselves and try to debunk the allegations? Looks so guilty, right? Yes, 100%. 100%. They're constantly doing it. It's very weird. And they always do a really bad job. It's always just a super bad job that they do. And they never stay on story with each other. It's always up in the air. It's always all weird every single time. It's very odd to watch Turning Point do what they do. The Star Studio. Oh, I thought it was Studded for sure. Okay. MTN Star Studio. Zach on the attack. Follow up on Fort Huachuca. What? He's another one? Okay, now I gotta check this out. Hold on a second. Does Zach have another Fort Huachuca episode out right now? Because that's crazy. I'll check it out soon. Let me see. Or are they just talking about? Okay, they're just talking about the video that I already covered here. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, it was a great video regardless, but yep, Zach's doing his thing. Hopefully he makes more. Fleet, friend of the show. I forgot to show some Fleet stuff, some meme stuff today. I completely forgot. I was all frazzled trying to figure out what was going on with X. But showing some love, sending some cash. I have to leave and I can't finish the show. Love you guys. I'm grateful to be a part of this community. Sending prayers and love to you and yours, Coach. Thank you so much, Fleet. Really appreciate you. And we gotta nail something down. We gotta do some stuff. I gotta send you some audio of me ranting about crazy situations. I really have to do that. But thank you so much for being here and being a part of this community. You guys are the best, by the way. You have no idea. So many people who are creators are like, your community is just, they talk about it. It's solid, really, really solid. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this community. Recommending Pyramid of Power by Derek Bruns or Bros. Let me just write this here. Pyramid of Power. What is his name? Derek Bros. I've never heard that. Pyramid of Power. I'll check it out. See what that's about. I still have to watch the family documentary that people have been telling me about on Netflix. I gotta watch that still. Okay. Thank you so much for that recommendation. Cabot and Shapiro, both at the Daily Wire. Coincidence? No, not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. I don't believe that. I mean, I've thought for a while, and I think this all the time. If you're like an independent outfit, right? Like the Daily Wire is, like Breaking Points. Like there's so many. The Hill. And then, you know, I see stories that I like from them. I see takes that I like from them. But when you look exactly like the mainstream media, I think that you're the mainstream media in disguise, like in a bad disguise, you know? That's what I think. So when I see the Daily Wire, I have never thought of the Daily Wire of like, oh, this is like completely legit. I'm always like, who's funding this? Like, why are you guys dressed just like Andy? Like, why are you dressed like Anderson Cooper? Why do you look just like Donald? Like, why do you look exactly like the mainstream media? You know what I mean? That's like if somebody who's dressed just like a cop. You kind of assume they were a cop, right? You kind of be like, probably, right? It wouldn't be out of the ordinary for you to be like, oh, this guy's a cop. Jamie, or Jill, sorry. Jill, thank you. Holy fire, Luna. The Dow is up. The Dow, you have to understand, these men that I'm protecting have increased the Dow, and this is what we should be talking about. This is ridiculous. Pam Bondi. And somebody actually said in the chat, and it's true, Pam Bondi is, I don't know if she's 60 yet. She's like 59 years old. It's crazy. It really doesn't make any sense. You know? It's like actually wild that she's that age. Okay? My country is ill. Think about the last 26 years. We are slowly dying. Babylon system is the vampire, sucking the chi, Ren, day by day. That's Jamie right there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Jamie will come back and say what they want to say. Sucking the chi. A lot of people don't know about chi energy. They don't know about that. Jamie's taking people down a road here. You know, there's a rabbit hole to that. Taking the chi away. There is a lot of that. You know, when it comes to the karmic law of consent, which is what they need in order for them to do what they're doing, there's a karmic law of consent that they follow in this order weird club that they're in. So we actually have to consent to what they do, and we do it through seeing things like the files. We do it through what we participate when we're in concerts, what we see in movies, all these different things. You know, the political system. We're constantly consenting all the time, and it does take away your chi. I notice that a lot with music, with concerts. You ever notice? You notice this when you're watching a concert next time. It's almost like the person who's on stage is taking in this massive energy. Like you can see it in them, right? And you can see people are giving their energy, right? Like right down to Michael Jackson. People are just like, they're just like falling on the ground, right? People at Taylor Swift concerts can't remember anything. Like there's this weird consent and taking of energy that they're constantly doing. And they do it through fear, just like demons do. Just like a demon. They feed on fear. They feed on fear and chaos. That's a whole rabbit hole. I've done a lot of episodes on that back in the day. Not even back in the day, like 9 months ago. I was doing episodes on stuff like that. Thank you so much, J Adamwich. Thank you so much. Star Studio recommending movie. Watch The Antitrust. Honeypot? You're just coming with the recommendations, huh? Antitrust. Okay. Honeypot. Somebody said in the chat that they went and watched the original Total Recall, and they saw that Erica and Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife, his handler wife, did look very similar. And they do. You watch that episode, it's not even just the look, it's how they act, their eyes, what they say. It's all very, very similar. Miss Cassie 2003, Xavier is the black guy. Yes. That is that. When I talked about the black guy with the blonde hair, his name is Xavier. He was at dinner with Charlie and said there was no offer. Of course he did. He told Candace she was wrong. He's an idiot. Yeah, of course he said that. Of course he said that. You know, it's funny. Erica said, I don't remember. He was just straight up like that. Just never happened. That guy, just from watching him, he doesn't seem even slightly trustworthy. He doesn't seem slightly authentic. He's just there to expand what the Republican Party looks like. That's it. That's what he really is. It's like, hey, he's blonde, he's black, he has these values. It's like, whoa, look at this guy. And they're just trying to pull in people who are like him, who fit his demographic. That's all he is. That's all he is. What they call red meat. It's the red meat trying to satisfy the crowd, trying to expand what that party looks like. It's absolutely ridiculous. Watch any of his videos. None of them seem. He'll always be within the same talking points as the admin. And I have to call out. I have to stay congruent. I have to stay consistent. When I saw that happen with the previous admin, I was like, oh, well, there's obviously some kind of coordination going on. So when I see it with one that I supported, I have to call out the same thing. He's doing the exact same thing. I mean, it's blatant. It's blatant. Not to be trusted at all. He's going to be on a reality show. I mean, come on. Who is this guy? Holy Fire Luna, hit that like button, Coach fam. Colin's beautiful wife says she'll give 5 subs. Is that what she said? Is that what she said? Is that what she said? Okay. And I know I'm not alone in wanting one. Christ is King. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Yes, hit that like button, please, guys. It really, 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 really helps. Jamie, once again, the Wolfman don't play. He's relentless. Go, Wolfman. Get him. Jamie's a firecracker, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie is always a firecracker. Let me tell you something about Jamie. The military is a misappropriation of funds, Dustin. Not completely. I mean, you know, I get what you mean, but geez, isn't it like almost $1 trillion like a year or something? It's like an ungodly amount of money. It's just crazy. It's like Ukraine money, you know? You know you're getting up there in numbers when it's like Ukraine money. It's just wild how much they spend. And then you look at Canada. Canada's $26 billion. What are you guys doing? You know? They just feel like, you know, it's like America's got it. How much you spend this year? 800 billion? Yeah, we don't have to spend that much. No, they got us. Nah, anything happens, don't even worry. They got us. They got it. You guys good? You guys need anything? Need maple syrup? Oil? Lumber? What do you guys need? You good? Okay. Yeah, they got us. We're not going to spend that much on the military. That's what they do all day. It's crazy. You might want to, you know, spend a little bit. Hey, thank you so much for that. The studio, once again, add to the list of recommendations. Watch the prequels like Antitrust, Snake Eyes, They Live. Now, one that I have not watched that people always get on me about is They Live. I have not seen They Live, and people are always shocked when I tell them that. I know I have to see They Lived. I know it's very important to see. I 100% know. People are always shocked when I tell them I have not watched They Live yet. I will be watching that soon. I just haven't had time, man. I just haven't had time. Praying for Miss Coach and baby to stay in perfect health during the pregnancy and after birth. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, Butterbean. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate that. Caramel Kisses is part of the Mint Daddy crew. Caramel Kiss. Sorry. Moira just had to hear it. I say it all the time. There's a show, Catherine O'Hara, rest in peace. But I think it was called Schitt's Creek. And she was in the show. And I actually worked on that show at one point. I worked on that show and I met Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy and Dan Levy and the whole cast. And they were so cool. They're actually really nice. They were nothing like any Hollywood people that I've ever encountered in my life. And on the show, her name was Moira. And I can't not say it. Whenever I hear, I go, Moira, Moira. Even when if we watch it when I'm with my wife, it's the first thing I'll say. Moira, Moira. I do it all the time. I did it when I was on set. And she was really cool. And she had her son working on the staff. And, you know, rest in peace to her. But yeah, man, it was that was a great show to work on. Great show. They were wonderful, wonderful people. Really, really nice people. So, Yeah, rest in peace to Catherine O'Hara, the original Moira. The Bowman 10, whoop whoop. I'm usually night shift. I work 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. Wow, that is serious night shift, man. Been up with a sick 3-year-old, so I'm actually able to make your live. Man, that is rough. When they get sick, it's so scary. I get so scared. I know my kid's sick because they just start drinking water, like drinking a lot, like a crazy amount of water, like a nutty amount of water. And usually you can't get them to even sip it at all, and they just want to run around. You know how I knew my kid was sick? My kid got real compliant. You'd be like, go lay down, go to sleep. And the kid would be like, okay. I'd be like, oh man, we gotta fix this kid up, man. Something's going on. Just go to sleep. If I say go to sleep, the kid goes to sleep, that's crazy. That's not how I don't know how other kids work. That is not how my kid works. So I was scared when that started happening, but they're all good now. Snoopy and Milo. Yes, finally caught Coach, what's my own name? Can I say my own name, please? Coach Colin live show. Very early morning here in New Zealand. Wow, Erica Kirk, psychopath opinion yesterday, said what we've all been thinking. Yeah, that breakdown, that expose of sorts was huge. Really, really huge. Perfectly said. And I would love to see Erica respond to it. And just be like, you know what? It's just with the eyes. She just makes a video about it. Can you imagine? That'd be scary. But you're in New Zealand. Look at you, man. That's a place I want to visit. New Zealand. I really want to check New Zealand out. For some reason, New Zealand is it's America. It's always America at the top, and then it's Canada, and then it is the UK, and New Zealand is like the 4th place that watches the show the most. It's absolutely nuts. Star-studded Tim Dillon rants are hilarious, worthy of review. Yeah, definitely. I love Tim Dillon. I think he's great. When he's on Rogan, he's incredible. Rogan gives him the space to do those rants, and he just goes. He just goes. I forget what he called the ladies of The View. He called them like rabid drag queens or something. He called them something crazy. It was hilarious. He just goes. He just can say anything. You know, there's one thing that he said. He did have dinner with JD. He is like friends with JD. But there was one thing he said in regards to why he didn't go to Peter Thiel's house when he was invited. He was like, I want to be able to talk about these people. He's like, and if I get too close to them, I can't talk about them because they might call me. They might say, hey man, why'd you say that? Why'd you say this? So he's like, I try to stay away from these circles of people. And he admitted that they're trying to pull him in. They're actually trying to contact him and have dinner with him. And, you know, Peter Thiel said he wanted to talk to Tim Dillon about media. And it's like, what? What are you saying? Like, he wanted to have a conversation with Tim Dillon about media over dinner. Like, just weird stuff, you know? You can't trust the guy giving you a drink. You can't trust eating the food from that guy. Hey, Peter, what are we eating right now? This is actually amazing. Oh, this is Sarah. What? Huh? What'd you say? Sarah. Sarah's absolutely delicious. Oh my God, Peter. Why would you do this to me? I don't know. We have kilos of Sarah in the back. I just figured. I'm kidding. He would never, you know, he rearranged his name. It says the reptile. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't mean anything. He's a nice guy. Dislikes the Antichrist more than other people do. You know, everybody loves the Antichrist a little bit. You know, he just loves the Antichrist a little bit more. That's all. But if thine eye be wicked, then all thy what? Listen, what are you saying to me right now? I don't want to read an incantation. Is this from the Bible? I don't know if this is from the Bible. I don't want to read a spell out in front of everybody right now. 7,500 people here. I don't want to read a spell in front of 7,500 people here. Wherefore the light darkness, how great is darkness? Sounds like Matthew had strong opinions on Erica. That's Matthew? Tell me what Matthew verse that is so I can read it. I don't know. I want to make sure. I just got to double check. That's all. I just got to do my own research. That's all. I don't want to read that out word for word quite yet. Thank you, though. Thank you, Phil. If that is from Matthew, and that is something that sounds like Erica, definitely. Not all banksters, but it is always bankers' war. Yeah, I hear that. 100%. 100%. Bankers and financiers, right? Trying to get currencies to run down. Mint Daddy crew. How do I say this? Alligato? Is that what this? Alligato? Alligato clan. Welcome to the Mint Daddy crew. Hopefully I'll know how to pronounce your name in the coming months. Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene interview Jillian Michaels yesterday? She had lots of info. DT is a piece of work. I saw a clip of it. I have not watched the whole thing yet. Jillian's very interesting. Hopefully she just kind of sat there and was quiet. I'm not saying I don't like Jillian, but I definitely like Marjorie Taylor Greene more and would like to hear what she has to say more, but I haven't watched the full interview yet. You know, Marjorie Taylor, sorry, not Marjorie, Jillian, she walked off the show. Patrick Bet-David had a show where it was like 4 women. It was supposed to like counter The View. It was like not all conservative views, but like just different, a mix of views in one show. I forget what it was called, but Jillian Michaels walked off because Anna Kasperia kept talking about Philadelphia. And she's like, oh, I can't listen to this. I won't listen to this anymore. I was like, wow. I lost massive respect for that. I was like, you can't even hear someone talk about Philadelphia? I was like, that's ridiculous. So I haven't watched it yet, but I'll give it a shot. If Cash, Dan, and Pam all lied about the files, why would they tell the truth about what happened to Charlie? Because their loyalty is to Philadelphia. That is very smart. That is very, very smart. Yes, you're 100% right. 100% right. Why would they tell the truth? Why would they be telling the truth? Do they have any, I guess, incentives to perhaps not go down any other roads? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious when it gets to Kash Patel and he wouldn't allow Tulsi and Joe Kent to look into any possible ties to any foreign government being involved. He completely blocked it. That's enough for me to be like, okay, there's something going on here, obviously. But I think it goes pretty high up. And I don't think there's much that Tulsi could do about it. Mitch Snow, oh no. Can I just say, Mama always said, stupid is as stupid does, in my Gump voice. Mitch Snow, yeah, everybody's really upset about Mitch Snow. Every time he's on the screen, it's just like, oh my God, give back the money, Mitch. It's the eyebrows that gives it away. When it comes to with Maxwell, yeah, of course. It's the eyebrows, it's the nose, it's the face structure, it's the chin, it's everything. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous to even try to, to ration that. Zorro in New Mexico, comptroller in Texas, Department of Finance and Admin, acts as chief accountant and ensures compliance with state and federal laws. Turning Point now in Texas. In Balix, bankruptcy case covering. Really? It's interesting. That's very interesting. Thank you, Dom. So that's why they are endorsing that guy, because he's acting like the chief accountant and ensures compliance. Wow. And now they're in Texas, and also Balix's bankruptcy case covering money. Interesting. Very interesting. I gotta look more into that. Okay. I just thought that guy looked like a weirdo, honestly. That was my whole thing. I didn't know there was anything else to it. I don't need much to make a decision. I look at somebody like that and I go, oh, okay. I see what's going on here. I mean, hey, listen, what? Hey, what? Hey, what? That's all I need to see. I don't need much to connect dots. I see something like that. I'm like, got a weirdo on our hands. He bought what ranch? Okay, that checks out. That's all I need. Anyway, let's keep going here. The stock market is going great, and all you want to talk about is billionaires. All you want to talk about is people feeding on the energy of other people so they can have knowledge and success. This is ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous. Did you ask Merrick Garland about this? Did you ask Christopher Wray about any of this? Why are you guys asking me about this? I thought you guys liked insider trading. I thought you guys would like to hear about the Dow. This is ridiculous. What kind of congressman are you? I'm trying to give you some inside information, and it seems like none of you want to hear it, and you just want to talk about sucking the energy from the general population. And Ball, you guys are ridiculous. You should thank your lucky stars that Ball exists. You know? Just crazy. Sparky George Webb has a paranoid. His meds could damage his liver. To minimize that, they are allowed to wear off between doses. So take this into account and filter his work accordingly. Jeez, really? I mean, I don't. Okay, I don't know. I mean, checks out. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know. I won't say much about him, but it kind of makes sense. Mint Daddy. Oh, Fleet. 5 memberships. Fleet, thank you so much. Really appreciate that, Fleet. What's going on here? 1 membership. Nafasa Jackson. I remember how to pronounce it. I remember. Oh, my different DNA. Reptilian sociopath allegedly, perhaps, makes my skin crawl. He clearly looks soulless. Oh, yeah. You know, he looks soulless, or he looks like he has many other souls, you know, like he eats them, right? Like he just eats them. He eats them like pixie sticks. He's, you know what I mean? Like, just ridiculous looking. I'm sure he's a nice guy, though. I'm sure he just likes ranches. Studio, please note all destruction of records, coroners, medical examiners, examples, so many suspicious Hollywood deaths labeled. Oh man, don't even get me started on that. Labeled as pneumonia, Brittany Murphy, not Whitney, because that was drowning, but there's a few others that are all pneumonia. There's like 6 celebrities, and they all passed away mysteriously. They all had, I don't know about connection to that Harley Patrick person, but they definitely all had the same coroner. I remember looking into, I made an episode about this like a year and a half ago. They all had the same coroner, and it was really weird. It's really, really weird when you look into it. Very, very odd. Yeah, you're 100% right about this. Really, really odd stuff. Anyway, Jamie, back at it. You have to know how to handle your handlers. Handlers come and go, but family is forever. Oh my God, that sounds like advice from Stacey Sheridan. You have to know how to handle your handlers. Okay? Sounds like something Stacey Sheridan would say in one of Fleet's videos. You have to know how to handle your handlers. You understand? Okay? Handlers come and go. Family is forever, and that's why you have to trick them into thinking that you're family. Shh, shh. You know? That's exactly what it sounds like you say. That's exactly her advice. Her advice to Erica about Charlie, you know? Julie loves Yodafa. I can't see the whole name. I'm just going to say Julie loves Yoda. I am working on the 4th step right now of 12. The doors are open, or now open. The 12-step program? Is that what you're talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You talking about the 12 steps? If you are and you're sober, congratulations. Let's keep going. Holy fire, Luna. Sure, there's a body double for Madam G. They're pushing on us like we're idiots, and there's nothing we can do about it, but the Dow is up. And that's all that really matters. I mean, that is all that really matters. But yeah, of course, there's a lot of doubles. They say Putin has a double, you know. Biden had a double that was 8'9". You remember that guy? He's 8'9". He had a little spring in his step. He was good to go. You know, they should have let that guy run the country. But but it was pretty wild. He was literally 1.5 feet taller than Jill Biden. It was pretty crazy. And there was nothing you could do about it. Look new to blend into foreign country. Yeah, right? They're just going to place her in Japan. There you go. Get in there. Run off. Nicole Palak but the Dow. What about the Dow, coach? I know. Listen. I know about the Dow. I've been watching it. Please dig into Mark Carney. Us Canadians need you to deep dive. We are being failed by a globalist. No longer left versus right, only good versus evil. The awakening is happening. Buy your wife a coffee. She can't drink coffee. She's pregnant. She has to drink decaf. She likes it, but she doesn't like it. But yeah, Mark Carney. I want to look into it. I want to look into it via web. I want to see if there's anything. Coach Colin is live. Yes, ma'am. Yes, short coin. 100%. Yeah, I definitely want to look into him and see if he's in those files at all. He should be. I mean, if they had that conversation, you'd think there would have been some kind of meeting. Otherwise, why were they together? You know, like why? Like it wasn't just Mark Carney. It was also his wife. His wife was with Maxwell, and he was with Redacted Jeff. So there has to be something there. Franks and beans. And then what does it say? Definitely 50 cent for show. Faux show. I sound ridiculous when I try to talk black. We were all hoodwinked. Hard not to be cynical. Praying for your family. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Yeah, the hoodwinking, man. They hoodwinked us. I mean, just in so many different ways. We got to go back up. Sometimes they just upload out of nowhere. They just burst through. Look at that. Where were we? Okay. Best wishes for you and your family. God bless you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Recommend contributing to Ian's web. Yeah, the web. I can't wait until that grows and we can put in different data points and start like meshing information. I would really like to be able to do that. Like right now you just have to go into the files. That's all you can talk about. But in the future, they keep on working on it. You'll be able to put in information, more and more information. You'll be able to put in like JFK, MLK, Malcolm X, Charlie Kirk, and the redacted files and be like, who seems like they were at the root of this the most? What country is mentioned the most? What intel is mentioned the most? You'll be able to do that. And you'll get an answer. I don't know what that answer will be, but you'll get one. Philadelphia. Solutions to end TSN, tribal supremacy, nepotism. I don't think there is a solution. You know, it's hard because, you know, my friend, his wife, she's Cuban, right? And she was telling me, I was really surprised. Castro has a bunch of kids and they're just in Cuba. They're just there. One of them's like a really well-known doctor. I think he's like the head of like a bunch of doctors. And I'm like, wow, they don't like exile those kids. And they're like, no. And I'm like, and those kids don't like move towards politics or anything. And she's just like, no, they just they don't want any part of it and they stay away from it. And that's it. And everybody just kind of lives with them fine. It's really weird. Really, really weird. You know, you think they would be like, I don't know. You think you'd be like, you guys got to go. Like, no offense. I'm sure you're lovely, but you have to leave now. Bye. You know? And yeah, it's very weird. Very, very weird. I don't know. So like, how do you end it? Nepotism like that? I don't know. You kind of have to let it die out, you know, or you gotta, you know, somebody has to leave, you know, somebody's got to leave. They're deleting every time Charlie Kirk knew Erica Kirk would be the new Maxwell, allegedly, maybe, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to know what episodes they're quote unquote archiving. Yeah, it's so crazy. Turning points like, let's just blame Spotify. Nobody will know. And then I chimed in. I'm like, that's the craziest excuse you could come up with. Like, Spotify's doing it? So crazy. Spotify's like, forget making money. Let's archive episodes. There's too many of this podcast. They make money off every podcast when something's monetized. They're not putting away episodes. They want you to have a backlog of episodes so they can make more money. I'm not going to start putting your episodes away. It's crazy. Just straight up R word. Guys, R word. Welcome to the Mint Daddy crew. Who is that there? Dear Jen. Dear Jen, 1969. Nice. Welcome to the crew. I never watched Baron this long. He might read this. I never watched Baron this long. He might read this. Yeah, he might. He might. You never know. You never know. Sometimes he's just chilling, just watching the show. Julie loves Yoda. Moses' wife was black. She was from Ethiopia. I could believe it. I could believe it. I have a whole theory on the Middle East. I won't even get into it, but I don't know. I don't think all the way back then there was a place called the Middle East. And Philadelphia is pretty close to Egypt. Egypt's in Africa. I don't know. I'm just saying. It was a different world back then, probably. I don't know. It's very weird. Very weird. But his wife was black. I don't know. Stay in the sun long enough, we're all kind of black, right? Like I lighten up in the wintertime. If I'm in a place where there's intense winter, I get lighter. I get like 4 shades lighter. And if I'm in the heat of Texas, walking around in Round Rock where there's no trees, and I'm downtown Round Rock, and it's just crazy hot, it's 112 degrees, well, I get as black as a Dominican person, you know? Who knows? Who knows? It's so hard to tell what was going on back then. It's like, was there even black back then, you know? Or was it just places? You know, maybe they didn't care about that at all. You know? Maybe we were at a time where we didn't care about stuff like that all the way back then. I know your baby will be born soon. Be careful or your new baby's first word will be dastardly deeds. I'm so glad your wife is okay. I'm praying for a healthy delivery. Thank you so much. Dastardly deeds. The first words from the baby will probably be dada, because I'm a propagandist in this house. You know? That's what I do. That's what I do. I push for it. I push for it secretly. Secretly, I will whisper and say, dada, dada, dada. It's a thing that I do. And it works. It works. But we'll see. We'll see. Nelson says, my gut instinct was telling me from day one, Erica was definitely in on it, but my heart didn't want to accept it. Sometimes it is uncomprehendable to which extent evil can go. Christ is king. The truth will win. Yeah. A lot of people felt like that. A lot of people felt like, at the very least, they felt like she was odd, right? They didn't want to say in on it. They didn't want to have any thought like that, but they were like, this is weird. This is a weird thing going on here. You know, just the way she was acting was very odd. Hi, I listen to you every time you drop. Please check out the pod I write for, the Rabbit Hole Conspiracy Theories show with Danny Mercy. You write for them? Danny Mercy. You write for those people? Interesting. Okay. How does that work? I've never known how scripted shows work. I can never script. Nafasa Jackson, 1 membership. Thank you so much. Jesus wins for us. You, Candace, Barron, and Ian, my absolute favorite truth seekers. Just keep truthin'. The truth wins always. Thank you so much. Jesus wins for us. Fleet sent 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Fleet. Really appreciate you. I know you're not here, but still, hello from your fan in Norway. The only one? No, you couldn't be the only one. What's happening in Norway? What's your name? Bjorning doll? Tell us what's happening in Norway with that prime minister. Is that guy going to jail? That former prime minister, is he going to jail? Would love to know if that guy's going to jail, what everybody thinks of it out there. And I'd love to know what that part of the world thinks about the files and thinks about the people that are in the files. Are they taking it more serious than the rest of us are? Kanaka Camp episode, LJ Cook, the Rabbit Hole Conspiracy episode. Please talk about this. In progress, Mortal Kombat Ultra and paper metal bookmarks. Metal bookmarks. That's good. That's a good way of saying it. That's a good way of saying paperclip, you know? Yeah, okay. I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out eventually. Whoa. Did more upload? Jeez. Okay, what do we got here? Dan Congino, Pam Bondage, Cash, Motel, walk into a bar. They walk into a bar. Pam says, the drinks are on the desk. Dan says, I got to go to the washroom real quick. And Cash says, I got to leave with this girl. She really likes me. She likes me for me. She likes that I'm 5'5" and I'm cross-eyed. She loves it. I have to go. And they leave Pam sitting there with the tab. That's what happens. That's what happens in that joke. Sparky, when you try Ian's web application, see if the files have mention of a missing airliner, MH370 airliner. It disappeared at the time of the Ukraine maiden coup. What did the files class say about it? I'll definitely look into that. Jillian Michaels is interesting. Hopefully she just sat there. I've never felt more seen. I love her, then get irritated in the same 5 minutes. Yeah, she's hard to deal with sometimes, man. It's not just her views. It's just, I don't know. It's just everything. And it's funny because I've worked with her before. I've actually met her before. I used to do, because she used to be a super health person. She wasn't like this political voice before. She was a super health person. And when I first started working in audio and video, I had a production company and I helped doctors expand their online business. And then I got with a really big natural nutraceuticals company, and they had a conference, and Jillian was the head speaker. She was the headline speaker. So I met her, and she's really, really cool. She's a really, really cool person. I had to mic her up and everything. You know, I'm not like other people in audio and video. So when I mic'd her up, it was just a microphone and nothing happened. You know, lucky for her, right? And I put the microphone on the outside and it didn't blow up. And you know, I did things a little different than some people do when it comes to audio and video. But she was really cool. She's really cool. But in this political sphere, she's just like, ugh, sometimes unbearable. Mark Zuckerberg likes to grab him by the PC. I like how many puns are in there all at the same time. I like it. Mark Zuckerberg likes to grab him by the PC. There's no fat on that joke. That's why that's a good joke. There's no fat on that joke. Every word is necessary for the joke. That is perfect. You have no idea. Okay, now we have to get back to Jamie. The Babylon system is the vampire. Jeez, Jamie. Listen, I can't even control Jamie. I don't know what Jamie's going to say. Jamie's going to say what Jamie has to say, and you can't do anything about it. Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Really appreciate you as always. But yeah, we're going to get into it. X was down before, so we're going to have you know, I'm not going to say more of a show, but there's some things that I wanted to talk about that I wasn't able to. But yeah, man, we're at 3 hours. I try to cap out at 3 hours. I love sitting with you guys, talking with you guys. I think it's absolutely amazing. My wife is in on it too. I really, really appreciate it. I got blocked by Ashton Forbes. Yep. I bet you did. You know what's funny about Ashton? I did an interview with these guys who had this show. I was on their podcast, and they're like, you have to talk to Ashton Forbes. You have to. And they like connected us just by like, you know, I followed him, he followed me. And then I like saw him in action online, and I'm like, oh, this guy's terrible. This guy's insufferable. Like an insufferable. I'm not sitting down for 2.5 hours to talk to this guy. There's no way. There's no way. I mean, just insufferable, dude. He didn't block me or anything, because you know, a lot of these people are they're like clout grubbing, you know, not money grubbing. They're like clout grubbing. So like if you have a big following, they won't block you. They'll just like talk smack to you. We've talked back and forth, and I've owned him a few times, but definitely not doing an interview with the guy. Like, definitely not. Please hit the like button, guys. It really, really helps. You have no idea. It helps us stay minty fresh. Yeah, I got blocked by George Webb too. Both accounts that he doesn't run. It's a different person. Oh. Yeah, Ashton's egotistical. 100% he's egotistical. It's absolutely ridiculous watching that guy in action. I was like, oh, this guy's just so rude to people, like instantly rude. Like I get being rude to people online if they deserve it, but he's like instantly rude as quick as possible. Like he just jumps right to it. And it's like as soon as someone doesn't agree with him, he's just like on them, you know? And I think it's so ridiculous. You guys have no, I'm about to buy bomb everybody. You're getting buy bombed right now. A bang, a bang, a bang, a bang. Control V. Control V. Sorry to do that to you guys. But I am ending it right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to be back tomorrow. We have an appointment, so I'm not going to experiment with the later time slot, But I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to experiment with a little later. And I'm going to talk to Baron and see if he's going a little earlier. And, you know, maybe we'll have a little bit of a closer slot to one another. We'll see what's up. I have to actually message him about that. But thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate you guys. The community is absolutely amazing. Keep on memeing out there. Keep on talking about the mints. Keep spreading the gospel of Mikey McCoy. Everybody needs it. I mean, we got Candace. We got Candace on the Mikey train now. I mean, we got to go for some more people here. But thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate it. I have to go. It's almost 1:30 over here. Or 12:30. Like, you know what I mean? It's getting late. It's getting very late. I gotta get to the clips. I have to have a call. I have to do a bunch of things. So I have to be a dad too. I'm gonna be a dad and a husband for a little while, and then I gotta get back.